Ball, dunks.
Look at Strong running the floor out in front.
Look, no getting around it tonight sucked. Creighton 91, UConn 84. Usually wait around longer for this stuff, but I'm annoyed. I'm less annoyed than I was an hour ago, so I guess that's good. I am finding myself to be a little bit of a basket case tonight. Whether I want to be really mad and go, I told you so, or tell myself to calm the down. It's really stupid for you to get out over your skis. But man, this week sucked. A lot of pie on the face of the players. A lot of pie on the face of the coaching staff. Probably a lot of pie on the face on us. Not a great week. But we have an opportunity for redemption on Saturday against Villanova. We'll see. But we're going to break down tonight and the mess that was. Hurley Mania, you were live and in attendance. Was it better live than it was on television?
No, actually, it was a lot worse because then I had to drive home. Yeah, that sucked. It sucked, but it was entirely predictable stuff we've talked about for 2 months. And I don't know, man, I'm almost kind of at wit's end with the whole thing at this point. It feels like a lot of it is what it is baked in, and they're 24-3, but it's hard for me to have any confidence right now in this team doing anything seriously great like we wanted them to 4 months ago. I'm having a really hard time with it, and it's probably me being in my feelings, having a man baby crash out, but there's a lot of evidence in here that these guys might not have it, and I hope they have it. I know the talent's there, but right now, it's looking bad, and it's bad tonight in the middle of this week where basically everybody in college basketball is suddenly getting hurt. And tonight, I thought that had a huge role in it. Alex looks extremely compromised, hurt, injured. I don't know what it is. And I'm also concerned because this is, Dan Hurley's a great coach, but he's the one who early in the year publicly spoke out kind of against his own training staff about how they have to do a better job of getting players healthy. And this is Dan Hurley who said the only thing you can really control with players as a coach is minutes. But there's Alex Caravan out there playing and unable to elevate at all. And then post game, Dan, it was a really good post game, but he said maybe I shouldn't have played him. It's like, how is this a discussion we're having? If he can't play, don't play him. If he looks like the way he did in the game, he shouldn't be playing. Because I felt terrible for Alex. He had no lift whatsoever. And, other stuff goes on in the game, and Braylon has the thing where he has the knee brace on, but then he comes back in and he looks great, offensively. But post game Dan says he's got something. So that's a concern now. Now we got to think about injuries, and it's a lot to process. And disappointment is the word, not just for the loss, but just for it to be in a situation where Dan feels like he has to play a clearly compromised Alex Caravan is such a damning indictment of the junior class that even I am at a loss for words for it. I just don't. I don't know what they do if Alex obviously can't go here for a couple games, and this is the hardest part of the schedule right now. Right tonight doesn't give me a ton of confidence for Saturday or God forbid next Wednesday. I'll tell you that. But just a lot to clean up, and you alluded to it when we talked. I'll let you go off on it, but boy, it didn't take Hall of Fame level Rick Pitino, but the scout is completely out on these guys. They are right now a Kevin Ollie level easy scout defensively.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, they've done it every coach has done it 4 straight games.
The same thing.
Same thing. And I think the thing is it's tough. We were talking about this on the phone before, and people just bear with me. I'm going to explain this. What I mean, I hope I can say it clearly. I don't think this team is soft, right? They've won too many big games, too many close games in tough environments against much more physical teams than they've seen in the conference. And they've done it with effort, getting to loose balls. I think that is in there. But the two deficiencies on this roster that are like really glaring to me right now, that those deficiencies, they make them look soft. And one of them, I think, is the fact that this team, as a collective whole, has poor game feel. A lot of, turnover issues. The ability to read defensive situations. Like, just look at the offense. Like, nobody's been able to really figure their way into the offense all year and like look super comfortable in it. I had a lot of hope 2 weeks ago, and I just feel like we're back to square one where it just looks really clunky. Like as good as Silas has been, like I have almost no criticisms of him really whatsoever, but the one mild criticism I have, like to kind of amplify that point, is like how many times have we seen Silas drive to the hoop, jump stop 2 feet from the hoop, and pass the fucking ball when he's by a guy that is 4'8". Like, just go up and finish at the fucking rim. Like, it's just that kind of thing. They seem so caught in between all the time, So, like, they just don't have the game feel offensively. And then defensively, they really lack the feel. Terrace is terrible on the whole team is terrible on pick and rolls. But, like, Terrace, the number of, like, sloppy fouls 40 feet away from the hoop, the lack of hedge, is very bad at hedging. He's very easy to drag away from the basket. We don't react well, right? We don't play great on-ball defense anymore. And like, I know people aren't going to want to hear this. Yes, the foul discrepancy should not be what it is. We should get whistled. There should be more calls, called our way. We probably get too heavy of a whistle. We are still fucking hacks. The guards are hacks. I'm sorry. I'm tired of having this like Big East conspiracy theory thing. It's been 2 years of the same guys doing the same shit every year. Like, at a point, we got to stop denying it, And so if you just drag Terrace away from the rim a little bit and get one-on-one, get downhill with guys, there's easy layups to be there, and you're taking free throws, right? That's a scout. I'll talk about that in a second. But what happens is like Terrace gets dragged away from the rim, and like we just don't have physicality, right? Like we just don't have guys that are like enthusiastic about banging under the rim. We don't recover well. We don't rebound well. So when you're like making a lot of like clunky mistakes, misreads, some miscues, some weird turnovers, and then like you just get out muscled, like you look soft, right? I don't think it's a mentality thing. I think it's honestly just a physicality and a brains thing, and it sort of is what it is at this point, but the defensive issues right now are huge. I mean, we have two guys. I called Terrace empty carbs the other day. Solo feels like empty carbs now too. You cannot have two starters who are 3+ years into their college basketball career that like, they fill the stat sheet up. Like you look at the end. I mean, tonight, Solo's, his stat sheet wasn't great tonight. Like Terrace, 15, 2 assists, 12 rebounds, like look good, completely lost on defense. Like you go and you look at Solo's stat line, usually looks pretty good, completely lost on defense. So whatever you're getting from them, like you're just handing right back in other areas, of the game. And, I just feel like you can't do that with two guys in your starting lineup and expect to go far. And then the red alert thing is just the complete collapse of the bench. We're dead last in the Big East in bench scoring. That is like, if you had told me that in the beginning of the season, I would have thought you were hitting more than a crack pipe. Like, insane. Like, Eric's been a very reliable, dependable, I think, backup center, all things considered, for a freshman, right? Talent is clearly there. He's just not beefy yet. Like, Mally it feels like a whiff right now. We had one play tonight that, like, I just thought typified the entire season, where Braylon came off a screen, had an open three, didn't take it, made a nice pass, to a mostly open cutting Silas DeMarion Jr., who had like a complete mismatch underneath the hoop, jump stop, turned around, passed the ball in the corner instead of finishing at the rim, to Malachi Smith, who passed up a three, drove into traffic and tried to shoot over three guys and missed it. And they got the board. Like, and that's the shit, man. Like, there's just no, like, assertiveness. Like, they seem, something's off. I don't know what it is. It could be going on in practice, but, like, something's off. They're, like, wicked trigger shy. The feel isn't there. I don't know, man. You know? And so, like, this has been brewing for weeks. A lot of this has been happening. Like, yes, I totally expect them to have, like, a cleaner whistle in the tournament. I think that's going to help. No, like, I don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Like, losses like tonight are like the worst kind of games that, like, you can tend to really just like drive the car off the cliff, right? Where you're kind of not playing well, but you're doing some things under the hood that are like mostly pretty positive, but then you just do a bunch of confirmation bias bullshit that kind of reinforces like your worst fears about a team at like a bad time. So like, I have a little bit of a worry about that, but like, again, like, it's been the entire conference season. Like, I don't know where to get. I don't feel like they're getting better. They're definitely not getting better, defensively. I think they're, since conference play started, like, what is it? Like 176 right now in Torvik defensively. And that's worse than they were last year.
I'll pull
fucking terrifying. Like, like, how does it go from what it was in the fall to this? And, you know, the answer is a really good scout and guys that just, you know, they're not making the adjustments. I can tell Dan's out of sorts too. Like, our rotations are all fucked up. He's not giving anybody any leash on the bench. Part of me can't blame him. The other part of me is like, man, you're going to have to like let somebody play through some horse shit at some point. Like, I feel like he's caught out in between. And now, because it turns out that college basketball players are not fucking play toys that you just plug into the wall, we're starting to see the wear and tear add up a little bit. And they look slow and they look lethargic tonight. And a pretty decent rest. And they got a game in Philadelphia in 2 days. And then they have St. John's. So, how the worm turns. But lot to get into tonight.
Yeah, I actually thought for about 30 minutes that as annoying as the game was, I thought they played okay. And then it just, the floor falls out from under them. And to some degree, there's a little bit of bad luck, but also, like, it's mental. It seems mental with a lot of these guys. I just don't know how Jalen and Solo are basically completed with their junior year, and this is what they are. Like, Jalen, I love him as a kid, love his dad, but like, this is a shell of the kid. Even last year, 2 years ago, obviously. Like, for Jalen Stewart to be basically incapable of playing more than 10 minutes in a game in which Alex Caravan can't jump over a sock is stunning. And his play dictated it. He just he looks tentative. And I mean, Dane gave him 10 minutes. He was the first sub off the bench too. And the Solo thing, like Dan did the thing that I clamored for, where he let Solo stay in the game with 2 fouls in the first half. And then he commits an absolutely obvious third foul. He's almost done with his junior year. How does that happen? Like, what are we doing here? This is just kind of is what it is. It feels like to some degree with those two guys. And not that Jaden Ross was, spectacular tonight, but at least fine. The confidence was there. The energy was there. Post game, it sounded for all the world like Dan wants to put him in the starting lineup, which fine, whatever. I've always said this. I don't care about starting lineups. I care about minutes distribution. But the amount of stuff Dan was saying that they just didn't recognize off of scout, I told you this, I would pay so much money to just be able to be in the room when Dan Hurley shows Jalen Stewart the 3 he took, where he backpedals, realizes it isn't going to go in, and then jumps in and kind of forces a jump ball in the second half. That was the angriest I've been in a play this year. That whole season.
Follow your shot. Nah.
Yeah, it's just it's a brutal night. I mean, Braylon, for all the is he hurt thing, he looked great in the second half offensively to kind of keep them in it, and then eventually the thing just falls in. And I want to give props to Josh Dix. That kid is going through a living hell right now that has nothing to do with basketball, and he played his ass off tonight.
Yeah.
21 points, 8 rebounds. I don't even know how he's playing basketball right now, full stop. But tremendous performance from him, and a brutal loss for UConn. It's the sort of loss that almost certainly cost you a 1 seed, but I just don't even care about that right now because I have no confidence tonight, and I can't wait to clip this when we're in Indianapolis. I have no confidence tonight that UConn's going to be in a position where that's going to matter.
Yeah.
Like, worried about playing Houston in Houston, I would sign for that right now. That's going to require this team to win 3 games in the NCAA tournament. I don't know right now. And they're 24-3. They're a really good team, but the flaws are growing. And the worst thing is they look like a team that can't quite fix them because you drag Terrace out. He's just going to hang out between the foul line and through a 3-point line. He's going to recover 10 minutes too late. And then everybody else on the floor, except for Silas, you can attack on this team, except for Silas. Everybody else you can attack one-on-one very easily. And Creighton just downhill, over and over and over again. And Jaden Ross, the reason I'll defend him is at least he was putting up a fight there. None of these other guys can defend. Braylon's 18.
Silas can't. Silas is fine.
Silas can't. Braylon can't. He's 18. Eric Rabbit needs a summer in the weight room because it was the issue with Terrace last year when the defense was bad on the wings. Guys were driving at Terrace full speed. They're driving at Eric full speed. And the rest of these guys, Solo can't defend. Alex looks hurt. And, it's more of an offensive sport than defensive now. And the offense is getting better. And as bad as the offense felt tonight, they scored 84 points.
I know, shooting like shit tonight too. I think I was actually looking at it before. They were 10 or 12 for 38 from the floor in the second half. And scored 84 points. So you don't want to overcook it, but they gave up 91 points, which is the most they've given up, by the way, in a non-overtime game, in the Dan Hurley era since 2019.
To a 13-13 Creighton team.
Yes.
That had to get on a plane, fly out here through the living hell that their season is.
Yeah. So, it's just a lot of things, man. I don't even know why I'm stunned by the defense, but I'm stunned by the defense. That's the thing that I should just not be
You're stunned by it because it's magnifying how much worse it's getting every game. It's like the Richter scale. It's not twice as bad. It's we're multiplying now at how much worse it's getting every single game.
Yeah, they're just getting
out-rebounded the same stuff.
Out-rebounded by Creighton tonight by 6.
They fixed the turnovers thing though. They only had 5. They only had 5 turnovers.
We didn't turn it over tonight. There we go. Let's make a progress there, I guess. But holy smokes. I don't think we're ever going to see this group play this way ever again. I hope not. But man, just 32 points in the paint tonight. 30 for Creighton. Almost straight up. Their bench outscored our bench. And Greg McDermott famously never plays a bench unless he has to.
He's got Karem Conan, who is a human offensive foul. And this should not have been a difficult assignment to outscore that bench. And yet, here we are.
Yeah. Look, we have a banana peel game every single year. Every team does. I love how the Dan Hurley era teams find a way to humiliate themselves at least once a year. No matter
There's
how
no
good.
way they were going to sweep Creighton, obviously, now that I think about it. That was just greedy.
Yeah. So, it's it kind of is what it is, but fuck, man. I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah, because
this is just one of those ones where I'm really trying hard to not overreact to it, but this was a really acute kick in the nuts. It hit both testicles square on for me right now.
I would be remiss if I didn't mention that as this is happening, we are watching St. John's Marquette. I don't believe there's a chance in hell Marquette pulls this off with less than a minute to go. like I'd be happy, but I'd almost be a little pissed off. Like this would be fortune that this UConn team does not remotely deserve right now.
Yeah, well, St. John's and UConn doing the Spider-Man meme right now for who wants to win the Big East the least.
Opening
Apparently.
the door for Villanova.
Oh my God, man! Oh,
Yeah,
but,
and listen. You thought tonight was rough. Saturday night Saturday afternoon in Philly, biggest test of the year for them to try and solidify their NCAA resume. And then we know what next Wednesday is. So like you play like this in those games, you're getting punked. Like you're getting punked and you're getting pumped. And so there's a lot to fix, obviously. And thankfully it's not my job. I don't know how you fix it. There are guys on this team who are bad. Dan talked about it post game. Like he didn't say it by name, but he obviously meant Solo and Terrace. There are guys on this team who are bad individual defenders. And everything is being schemed at those two guys right now.
Yeah.
So
it's even the help defense from guys too. Yeah. I mean, it's even the help defense tonight. Like there was one dribble drive and Terrace just watched this dude just dribble right through Solo and just stood right underneath the foul line and just, there he goes. I can't anymore, man.
I just don't know how he was surprised by it. He has a beautiful soul. He's very optimistic, but buddy.
Wonderful human being. I would never besmirch Terrace Reed as a human being. He's wonderful. As a basketball player, Terrace makes me want to throw my sofa clean through my fucking TV.
Because we know it's in there. We know the skill and the talent's in there.
The talent is.
Yeah.
Talent is there, but like the processing power in game needs to figure out and find its way to actually being there. Even offensively, like tonight, he should have been called for a moving screen 10 times tonight. Screen setting sloppy. Rolls to the basket are sloppy. We are awful, by the way. We want a really under the radar thing we're not good at is post entry passes. But like Terrace isn't great at getting position down there. And like tonight had like 2 possessions where he had a clean drop step, easy 2, and spins into 3 defenders.
Mm-hmm.
Like
it also is, it's an outlay of the thing that we've all worried about when the team was good was like, yeah, they seem bad at inbounding the ball. The inbounds and the post entry passes are largely the same sort of things. So if you're bad at one, you're probably bad at the other. And
that's
this team
true.
is bad at both. They don't throw post entry passes to him. And I don't know if it's him not getting position. It feels like the easy shot, but they can't hit him. It's very frustrating. And like you said, like first half, 6 of 7 from the field, 13 points, 6 rebounds. Second half, 1 of 4 from the field, 2 points. I just don't know. I don't.
Yeah. It is what it is. We have a lot of wieners.
Oh, I bet they want to whine.
Want to whine tonight. Wine and dine. So, should we let them in? Should we let them ravenously tear away at our sleeves?
We should. Before we do, I do want to give a tip of the cap to Little Red, who, I mean, as bad as this sucks for us, that poor son of a bitch. that
11 hours.
30 miles across 10 hours. Almost gets fucking kicked out by the blue hairs in the front row.
He met the Giga blue hair. That guy was not messing around. Had the suit jacket on and everything. He was not happy.
And I will say this, and God bless him, Little Red was giving it to James Breeding leading up to that. I know why that happened. It was it was a hell of an effort. But the crowd was great tonight. The fans were great. Little Red did his thing, raised a ton of money. Props to him for that. And it's just, you get an absolute shit sandwich right on your plate. Like, hope you were excited for nothing. And, as mad as I was at Dan about that, I will say I thought his post game, then it took all the anger away from me because I thought he got everything right. He owned it, blamed himself. He said it Monday and he said it again today, like, we have a team that is almost, I'm paraphrasing, almost designed to kill a crowd. Like, they just don't do the runs.
Yeah.
And
We did it again tonight. I mean, it was so bad. We were in Discord tonight, and it was like, as soon as the crowd got up, I'm like, here it comes. What we need to do the next time they go on a 7-0 run, I want the whole arena just to shut up and be silent. Don't do a single thing. Just don't move. Hold your breath even. And maybe they'll get a rebound, get out in transition, and they'll get a kill shot. We got to try it. We tried the noise thing. It's not working. So maybe silence.
We tried everything. We did.
Maybe this is more of a golf team than a basketball team. You know, we're just interrupting their swing. I don't know. All right. Hot dog, the UConn Huskies season is here, and the good folks at Martin Roll Souls are here to keep you fueled so you can keep foot on gas throughout the year. Hot dogs, kielbasa, sausages, deli meats, you name it. Not only can you grab what you need for the big game at their retail store at 45 Grove Street in New Britain, they'll even bring the meats to you and ship them across the country. It's Martin Roll Souls, the official sponsor of the Connecticut Basketball Spaces Wiener Weinerline. And folks, it's time to get to the meat of tonight's show. And by that, we mean the Martin Roll Souls Wiener Weinerline. We'll be taking calls and check-ins here for the next hour. So if you have something to say, want to get something off your chest, now is the time. So got to bring a couple of people in tonight. We're going to start it off, as always, with the usual leadoff hitter, no escalators. Talk us off the ledge or just push us off the bridge.
No, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling good.
Feeling good. All right. Let's hear the optimistic take. I think we all need to hear that.
So, look, it's not perfect. The defense is an obvious issue. And one thing about it in particular, which is the pick and roll defense, it's like that is something that needs to be worked on. But this team has also played good defense this year. And if you want to rewind the clock a month ago, when I was bitching and moaning and getting yelled at for being negative about a 21-1 team, or 22-1 or 20-1, depending on which time I was complaining. You know, the offense was putrid. The defense was great. And offense is more important in college basketball. If you have to pick one, it should be the offense. And the offense was good tonight. And you might say, hey, wait a minute. I saw that 6.5 minute stretch when UConn gave up a 14-2 run and then followed it after like two baskets, then took another 4 minutes off from scoring. That doesn't feel good. And it didn't feel good. It felt extremely unpleasant and frustrating. But you know why it felt unpleasant and frustrating? Because they just missed open shots. They missed good shots. They missed shots that were fine. And I don't think that's going to be a continuous problem. And even with that, even with basically taking off from like the 12-minute mark on until like 3 minutes left in the game, they scored 84 points. And scoring is important. Somebody tweeted at me when I said, I don't feel as bad about this as I did after a lot of the wins, that a 60-59 win tonight would have been a lot better result. But that to me would have screamed, we have huge problems here. We still haven't fixed the offense. This says, okay, there's some defensive problems. You need to make some adjustments. But the more important thing is clicking. Braylon looked awesome. Yeah, they missed free throws. That is a consistent issue. I don't know how you fix that. That just might be a thing that you have to live with. But they also don't take a lot of them. And if that's going to be the case because they're drawing up open shots, fine, I'll take it. So overall, that's where I feel good. Creighton, who takes a humongous amount of threes, obviously passed on some of that tonight because they were getting wide open paths to the basket, which, again, you do need a tweak there. But this is the what the fuck game. This is the equivalent of the Creighton game in 2024, which, by the way, was infinitely worse and featured a much thorougher domination of a much better defense, or a marginally better defense. And the team was able to make adjustments and recover. Like, I'm not going to lose sleep over this, because the thing that consistently for 3 months was the problem, or 2 months was the problem, has started to get fixed, and now they have some adjustments to make here. But I do trust in the staff, and I will say, even though I don't look at this way, I think one very fair, it's both a credit and a demerit of Dan is an incredibly loyal, incredibly superstitious person who, like, go ask sophomore year Isaiah Whaley or junior year Isaiah Whaley what his minutes distribution looked like. Dan doesn't always make changes until he's forced to. I think the idea that, like, a loss can be good is stupid, but I think that you are more likely with this coaching staff to see significant tweaks that might need to be made off of a loss than you would be if they continued to grind out tiny wins. And in particular, a loss that is an upset rather than losing to a very good St. John's team at St. John's, which you can sort of lie to yourself about if you're that sort of person, or not even lie to yourself about, but be rational about. I think this has the potential to spark necessary tweaks and changes to the formula.
I'm hopeful.
And
I hope you're right. That's sort of where my brain, I was saying it before, like this is like one of those like bad games that, like, number one, they happen, but sometimes like your dog shit game happens when you're sort of in the midst of a skid in a particular area, and like just hide some of the things that are good that are going on under the hood, and it makes you really easy to get carried away with it in a particular direction. That's what my brain is telling me.
Yeah.
But I'm also a sucker for confirmation bias.
I mean, if you go, like, I have been like this for a while. If somebody wants to go and pull the audio of this, whatever this show is, after the Texas game, I said my concern was they were going to muddle through a lot of games, and because the league was so dog shit, they weren't going to lose and they weren't going to fix what was wrong. Well, lost 2 of 4. 1 was fair and the toughest game arguably they'll have this year. And then this is the one that is going to be like, okay, yeah, we can't lie to ourselves. So I feel better there. Even like looking at it like, okay, Creighton had a 14-2 run. The game totally turned around. It seemed like it was in hand. That 14-2 run, it wasn't a snap, 2.5 minutes. We got blitzed. Everything fell apart. It took Creighton like 7 minutes to do that. And it was just, UConn wasn't hitting shots. They got, I think, one, I don't even know what the basket was in there. But the ball didn't go in. And sometimes the ball's not going to go in for you, and you're going to have to see freaky stuff in this game. Like, both teams were absolute dog shit at offensive rebounding. UConn has the best offensive efficiency in the league. It's had that for a little bit now. If you just look at conference games, there are things to fix on the defense. There's stuff that maybe can't be fixed, and teams in the league will be better at exploiting than teams that aren't as familiar with our personnel. But I am feeling okay about where this is going, because if it was, January 31st after Creighton or after the Providence game where the offense was, I guess that's sort of where it started to round into form. Maybe you want to go to the Villanova game and the Georgetown game before that, where the offense was really struggling. That is the team that I was really worried was going to get clipped. This one, I think a good team can beat them. I think a lot of the good teams in the country, I think there's 8 to 10 that are really good, and we'll see how it shakes out in the second weekend. But if UConn can score the way that they've shown their ability to score, 84 points with like nothing from Alex, by the way, this team can fill it up. And maybe this is just my total bias and absolute love of offense over everything else, but I feel much better where they are now than I did after eking one out over whoever, Seton Hall.
Yeah, my one concern in terms of like not losing sleep on it or whatever is the Braylon and Alex physically, like, are they okay situation. Like if those two are fine, then this sucks, but they'll be fine. I mean, if Alex especially is compromised, this thing we're in a big fucking problem territory. Like big, because they have no attempted protection. But, let's cross that bridge when we get to it.
Yeah, and that is what it is. We're not Texas Tech right now, so we're in a better situation.
Yes, yeah. It's a good point.
So, they do fortunately have 3, not 2 days until Villanova. We'll see how it goes. I'm guessing practice might be unpleasant tomorrow, but maybe not. Maybe they'll all, practice beach volleyball or something and fix
that video session will be insane. That will not be fun, but I appreciate the positivity. I would note that when the offense wasn't clicking, they were winning all the games and losing none of them. And now that the offense is clicking, they are winning some of the games and also losing games.
This is the problem. You can't focus on wins and losses. It's a lie. It's a mirage. Focus on that in March, in November through, the end of February. Just focus on watch the game with your mind blacked out the second a shooter releases the ball, and then just sort of go from there, and you'll feel so much better, and you'll have a better sense of where things are going. And it's the type of thing that gets you through January 2023, when some people who are speaking right now were staying calm. It is the type of thing that makes you worried in December 2025, when I started sounding the alarm, and it makes me feel better tonight. It was a bad loss. It is super annoying. I feel fine. I feel better than I did a month ago, and so I'm ready to lock in and enjoy the rest of the season.
I like imagining your TV. You just have like a big thing of tape over like the score bug, so that you can't see it, so that you're just focused on the actions.
It's you just got to go with the vibes. Yeah.
Thank you. I do feel better after that. Even if I can't get there, it gives me hope.
Yeah, I do want to read just before I go, and I'll let the others get on here. I do want to read the texts I got from a certain Hurley Mania.
Oh yeah.
Immediately after the game, you will request, you will apologize for being wrong. Your style leads to a season ending.
Which is true. It does.
You're an idiot. And then I said, no, I'm right. And you said, I actually thought we played okay for like 35 minutes.
I did. I was like, you know what? That was okay. I thought they played better than the Georgetown game up until the bottom completely fell out.
He's never upset. He never overreacts. He was very serene tonight coming out of Campbell.
Yeah. This is typical normal self. I don't know why I ever gave you my phone number. What a disaster. A huge mistake.
See, I only bother you when it's necessary.
Do you want the Shashin to be commemorative ticket or not?
Yeah, I'll get it on Wednesday.
All right, thank you.
It does. Right, picks up all the promotional items and like holds them hostage.
Yeah, I think I had like a towel for you for like 7 months, and I finally got it.
Oh, by the way, I have your hockey hat here too. You left that in my living room.
Oh, okay.
I'll get that back to you at some point.
Like 12 of those things. Thank you.
Just leaving debris all over the place, in addition to complaining.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, No Escalators. By the way, Andrea Sweet was not excited to see No Escalators. She was in the mention. So,
really?
Yeah. Just what a surprise you let that fool No Escalators in first, you losers. We're back. We're so back. Oh, I love it when Andrea comes out. It's just like, it feels familiar again. Now I feel like we're in the season. Andrea's here. She's mad. Never change.
We're going to like Hulk up if we lose the game at Villanova. We're like, yeah, no, this is perfect. This is perfect.
Now we're back. I'm so excited. All right. We're going to go to Platt Cat next, and then we're going to go to Connor. After that, I got some more guys in the queue. Hang tight, guys. I'm going to bring you in here in a second.
Platt Cat, that's for sure.
Happy Platt Cat. He's going to be thrilled Platt Cat tonight. Or, marginally not as upset as he was in the past Platt Cat.
Marginally less upset. Just one question. Season is what it is for the Jays. Is that Terrace Reed pulling his pants down thing like a routine action, or?
Yes.
Has
Yes,
that happened
figuratively.
before? Or was that to distract the fact that Hurley ran 80 feet across the quarter? Like, is that just a thing?
I don't know. This group is a bunch of Muppets, man. I don't know what you want us to do.
I mean,
I,
you're asking
but
me to diagnose Terrace Reed. I mean, this show isn't long enough.
Oh no! My thing with the post game was I think both teams are cool with trying to let the other post guy just kind of run it up, and it worked on both ends. But yeah, don't pull your pants down.
No, pants on. We
Just
established that
keep your
today.
pants on, and no, I'm not here to gloat or celebrate or anything like that. It's broken clock's right twice a day. Got a good win, it happens. But J season is what the J season is. I appreciate you boys do your thing. Shut out a little red. Just figured I'd pipe in quick.
No, a great win for you guys in a tough season, and on a human level, I'm happy for Josh Dix, even if I'm sad about the game.
Man, it's been a rough couple weeks.
Yeah, it's incredible what that kid's doing when he doesn't have any. He loves the team and the program, man. This isn't the season you got to come exactly sacrifice yourself for, but he's doing it anyway. So
no, he came back to the hometown more or less. I mean, Council Bluffs is 10, 15 minutes. It's just the other side of the river. It's 5 minutes from the arena. So he's been going through it, but that's not why. Keep your pants on. Have a good night, Phyllis.
thank you. I will. I'll try. Listen, tonight doesn't make me want to take mine off. I'll tell you that.
Not Valentine's any day anymore. Everybody keep their pants on.
Good luck in March and April, boys. I'll see you.
Thanks. Maybe we'll see you again. Maybe they'll try and square up one more time at the Garden.
We'll see what can happen, man. Take it easy.
We'll see if Hassan can show up with boxing gloves.
Later, boys.
Later, man. I do appreciate Platt Cat. He's the rare actual Midwestern nice. So.
Well, there you go. That was very nice of you to say. Connor Rush, what do you want?
I felt pretty confident and loved a lot of what Escalator said, but at the same time, I feel good about the offense and everything, but God damn it. the defense. The defense, we let out 91 points, and that sucks. Like, that's just not good. And would just love to hear some of your thoughts. I know, following a lot of your tweets during the game, Paris not doing well in the paint and everything. I don't know. Just want to lay it up to you guys about what we could possibly do better on defense, because goddamn, right now it's not looking too good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They got to really maybe flirt with the idea more of just you want to do it too much, but you're going to have to flirt with Terrace playing a little bit more drop. I just don't know how you can. Every time he gets out of the paint, it's a disaster. It's just getting exposed. And whenever he's not there, just nobody has any respect for our perimeter defenders. And they shouldn't.
Also, is it just Terrace? Because, you look so bad.
No, we don't have good on-ball defenders outside of Silas.
All of a sudden.
Well, we don't have many good on-ball defenders outside of Silas, but I would also say this, Alex Caravan moving around like a cargo ship, in addition to Terrace not being in the paint enough or being lost on pick and rolls. And then, I just don't think there's a world where a solo is going to turn into a world-class.
Oh, that's never happening. That's never happening.
I don't think that's a reasonable expectation. I think you can play better. But I think it just really hurts you when, you got Alex hobbled. You've really, the only guy that's going to be a really good perimeter defender is going to be Silas. Obviously you want to have a little bit more out of Mullins, but Mullins is good. He's quick. He's good at getting the spots, but he's a little handsy, a little grabby. And he's just skinny. It's a freshman. He's a freshman, right? And,
you just look at his lineup and you think that they'd be able to do a little bit more defensively. And
they have done more, but what happens is over the course of a season, is teams get a read on you eventually, in terms of what you're doing. We talk about 2023 ad nausea, where teams just started to dork Andre Jackson and sag off of him, and it totally fucked our offense up. And, it was like the lamest, smallest, most minute thing to adjust, which just moving him a little closer to the basket. And that seemingly fixed everything. right? So sometimes it's that stuff, but like you kind of gotta, as much as it makes me want to vomit into a plastic bag, like you gotta give Rick Pitino some credit because they were the guys that pretty much consistently did it that whole night. Butler was doing it. Georgetown did it. Creighton did it. Creighton had some luck tonight. We shot like shit tonight for the most part. And, they, had some easy lanes to the basket. We got to figure out how to react to that scout and make that fix. I don't know what that is. I think I'm a little concerned, as to whether or not we have the personnel to be able to fix it. There's also health concerns, like if Alex is going to be running around on the court like somebody kicked a stack of hockey pucks up his ass, like that's going to be a problem, So, there's a lot that's up in the air, but, defensively, man, defense a lot of times is, Dan says a lot of time that defense and rebounding are effort, and, when you're, I don't want to say down a guy with Alex, but you kind of are right now. Guys got to figure out how to ways to step it up. And, my biggest concern is just there's outside of Terrace and Silas at the point guard position, there's just a lack of physicality on the team. The only other guy on the roster that's like really eager for contact and physicality is Jaden Ross. Everybody else is kind of about it. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the solution's going to be ultimately, but from the sounds of things of what Dan was saying tonight, I mean, it sounds like we might be shaking up and shuffling up some rotations. And we've talked about this, all year. Like defense looks better when they've had Stu and Ross or somebody like them on the floor. And maybe that's the tweak that they make and figure out a way to get that rotation on the court more. I don't know, but that's what Dan gets paid the big bucks for.
Yeah, I like that. It just, again, Ross, that's the thing people have mentioned in the past, like, love the effort he gives and everything, but God, Lord knows what he's going to do on offense. Like, he's either hitting a corner three or maybe he's hitting like an insane alley-oop dunk or he's doing like the dumbest shit that you've ever seen in your entire life.
He's a
I feel like
kamikaze
there's
basketball
like a
player for
zero
sure.
in between. It's either like Sports Center top 10 or it's like, how the fuck is this guy playing college basketball? Which I kind of love him for. And at the same time, I think we need a little bit more of that. But oh God, yeah. This team cannot give up 91 points in a game.
Yeah. No.
The problem is it feels like the defense is more broken than the offense ever was. And
there's dudes who can like go and give
into
you like a weird offensive night, but it's like, where does the defense come from? Right now,
Yeah.
Reed is like, I don't know. Like I think we got very blessed the past few years with, the Sonogos and the Klingons of the world. And then I think sometimes we take for granted, like, yeah, Reed can, again, as we've said, it's like you look at the end of the night, it's like, wow, his stat sheet looks pretty good. He put up, 12 and, low-key 5 assists for some reason and 2 blocks. And it's like, yeah, but if you look at him with the eye, it's like the defense sucked. So anyway, leave it to you guys. I know you guys don't have the answers and no one does, but just wanted to, defense is scaring me.
Yeah. No, hasn't been good, man. Appreciate that, Connor. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it, Connor. It's it's a scheme thing. I don't know if UConn's not going to start playing zone. Okay, they're not going to start full court pressing.
No, we can't play
tonight
zone. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm going off again to say that like I cannot see UConn play zone. Never in my life.
No, they can't.
But I would like to almost maybe see us play like a full court press just because, like, goddamn, we look awful whenever someone does that to us. I still don't quite understand why we don't have a couple plays against that. But whenever someone does that to us, I think, oh wow, yeah, you do that to a bunch of 20-year-olds you're obviously going to fuck them up a little bit. Like, why don't we do that to more guys?
Yeah, well, first of all, tonight that would have been meaningless because you have to make a basket to set a press, and UConn did not make a basket for most of the second half.
Also true. That goes to the whole
Also,
St. John's thing about like, why didn't, we get more whistles against St. John's? And it's like, well, if we got to the foul line, who's to say that we're making the free throws anyway? So I get that, but
and to recap, not all, but most of the fast break opportunities tonight, there was Silas twice being unable to just get to the hoop cleanly and getting blocked both times. And then there was the time when Jaden Ross decided to throw an injured Braylon Mullins an alley-oop. So I don't know if I want to see this team run and gun, because the only gun will be the one you put to your own head. Because no. So I don't know. Defensively, yeah, it's assignments. I agree with the idea of, play Terrace some sort of drop, because nothing about him going out there is helping. Like that's where it kills me. It's not, there isn't a big, like, who's the big that we have to not let go out there that they're going to face? Zuby's not going to go out there. So I don't know why Terrace is going out there, but he does.
Thank you, Connor. All right. I got to keep on moving it on down the line here. We're going to go to Happy Rat next, and then Quailman, you'll be after the Rat. Happy Rat. Probably not a happy rat tonight. Probably a pensive, sullen rat, but give us your thoughts.
First off, zone is for cowards. Let's just make sure we're all in agreement on that. Zone is for cowards. We're not going to do it. Sorry.
This is also why Providence should hire Joe Gallo, because he runs a zone, and it would be very fun for the
Gallo
for the
or
Raptors.
Callow?
Gallo, the Merrimack coach is who Providence should hire. He's very good and he runs a zone, so it'd be fun for the UConn Providence thing if they busted out of zone. That would be extremely annoying. Go ahead, Happy Rat.
I had a lot of notes written down. I was happy. No escalators. Apparently, is just doing gonna be completely opposite of what everyone else thinks. That's cool. I was happy about that. I think we're getting a little negative. I think we still only have 3 losses, and we judge a team very harshly. We get out of this league, and not that has anything to do with tonight. Refs didn't cause us to lose this game. But I'll take our chances. I think I'm out on Etsy witches. I think Mr. Little Red, he might have to walk home. I don't know if he's doing that, but I think that's probably fair. I think your statement about hockey pucks being in Alex's digestive tract was probably out of line. He probably wouldn't be able to play. I think that would be, he'd be a scratch. I think also Noah Slayers thought somehow the way he phrased this, we should all be 100 eyes, like not actually don't see, just feel, which I can, okay, he's got a little credit there. The biggest thing for me, despite the loss, right? The percentages from 3, from 2 on offense were fine. Defense, we know, was terrible. The free throw shooting. What? Good golly, Miss Molly. It's horrendous. We won a title with a coach who was doing all sorts of illicit things in the state because we had 2 great guards and we just hit every free throw. This team is good enough. They have wins this year against some of the best teams in the country. They theoretically should be able to get to the second weekend minimum in the tournament. You can't make your free throws. You go bye-bye. What the hell? I don't know if that's a question or a statement or both.
No, Braylon Mullins and Silas DeMary Jr. were 9 for 11 at the line. Terrace Reed and Jaden Ross were 2 for 7. Like, that's the difference. The free throw thing, like, I don't think about it because, like, it's not getting fixed. Like, it just isn't. If Terrace is going to get the ball in the post and is going to miss an easy chance for an and one, which feels like it happens 90% of the time. And then he only hits one of the free throws. So it's also really demoralizing to go from what looks like you might get 3 points to getting 0 or 1. And it killed them in the St. John's game. And there was one of those tonight. But yeah, that's the free throws. This issue is largely confined to 1 or 2 guys. The problem is one of them is our highest usage player. So I'm hoping that by taking more threes, we kind of avoid that issue. I would like Braylon Mullins. I think, and he hit one tonight. He's a great shooter. This year, Braylon Mullins has shot 19 free throws in 20 games. Now he's not going to drive the. I guess some people want to see him drive a little more. I want to see how his knee is first. But he's an 84% free throw shooter, but he's only taken 19. On the other side, Terrace has taken 97. So it's just a function of their game. That's the way it works.
Okay. Are we worried? March? Yeah, kind of. Yes, I get that.
Am I worried?
Yeah, I am, but I'm the worry type. So, you don't have to feel bad about it. It should help make everyone feel great.
I'm not as worried because everybody else, with the exception of probably Michigan, is stinky ball sack this year. And, you look at the entire top 10, everybody's got warts. We've got warts too. But you look at the last week or so, Illinois had a skid. Iowa State's had a skid. Purdue is totally figured out right now. Gonzaga, I think, is kind of a big fat fraud. I'm not buying into that. Arizona had a loss. They've got another tough one coming up. Michigan's got Duke, so good luck with that. Everybody's got issues, so part of me is like, why not us? But I'm more worried about sort of less worried about the offense because we got enough talent, I think, to get by. It's just more, I don't think we just can't be in a perpetual tailspin defensively right now like that. We are in free fall on the defensive side, of the court. So if they could fix that up and tighten it up, I don't know, man. I think it's going to be a way more chaotic NCAA tournament than people are expecting. It's got 2, 3, and 2, 4 seeds getting to the Final Four written all over it. And it's going to be, I think, more matchup dependent this year than it's always matchup dependent. It's always a huge part of the tournament, obviously. I think it's going to be more critical this year.
But doesn't that kind of belie the fact that there's 10 teams in most of the metrics that have separated themselves from pretty much everyone else? Right? It shouldn't be the year. That should be the year you get an Elite Eight that has some really good teams in it.
Which, this is where we disagree. I think it's going to be an absolutely chalky, for the most part, Elite Eight. The other side of it, though, is that you've got 6, 7 seeds at a level that you don't normally get, because the talent is so, consolidated at the top with the transfer portal and NIL. That makes everybody we're complaining about UConn's bench, but also it's a lot of teams aren't putting some random freshman who only plays 5 minutes a game suddenly has to play 12 because of foul trouble, in an NCAA tournament game. That's not happening anymore. Everybody's loaded at the high end. Everybody's got really experienced players. The best ones, either they've kept around the program or they've just picked them off of a mid-major or another high major that didn't care enough about basketball. And so you've got these loaded, Michigan, Duke, Arizona, Houston, these just loaded squads, at the top. But my concern for March with this team, health. My first concern is health.
Yep.
Alex's health, Braylon's health right now. But I'm not worried about them in an Iowa State or an Illinois game. I'm worried about them playing SMU or Wisconsin or, NC State, because there's a little bit of playing to the level of the competition with this team. And I don't know how that manifests in a second round game, in a 2 versus 7 seed game against, Kentucky. Well, Kentucky's not going to be a 7, but Texas A&M, for example. That's the game that I'm worried about. But we got to get there first, and they've got time to fix a lot of this. But it's that defense. Like, it doesn't have to be, the defense doesn't have to get to as good as it was at the start of the year, but it can't be this. Like, this is unplayable. The last 5 games. This is like Providence bad.
Whoa. I mean, we are they're kind of champagne problems. I mean, I understand we need to play better defense, but there were only 3 losses. Like, we did luck out in January. We won a bunch of close games. The Providence is low. That's
Just on the defensive side, and we aren't starting any fights. Or
if Solo comes out and he's just got a little bumper on the back of his head for the game next 2 days, we can have a different conversation. That'll be a little alarming, but
a little alarming.
Well, I would assume there's some backstory to it. Like I don't know. He had a pet like gerbil or something that he just stuck to the back of his head. That's not the point. The point is we're not there yet.
Well, one thing with Solo I'll note is that because of the 3 fouls, he didn't play most of the start of the second half, which was the best period of the game UConn played. Just noticing that.
I thought you were going to note that he did have a pet gerbil or something.
They brought him back in, and Creighton immediately reeled off an 11-2 run. I mean, you better be white hot from 3 if you're going to pull that shit off. Like, he's got to be like a 44% 3-point shooter, dropping in 28 to 35.
He didn't play defense last year. Like, I that sounded very whiny, but like, he didn't play defense last year.
Yeah, it's we talked about this the last couple of shows. It's crazy how much it's kind of regressed. The difference tonight was you didn't get the offense out of him. He was 3 of 10 from the field, 2 of 7 from 3. You only got 8 points out of him. 4 fouls is wild. 1 rebound. Oh God. I mean, it's bad. But before tonight, he'd been pretty good the last few games offensively, but defensively, he's just a bright flashing red light on the floor that everybody is targeting. And it's tough because of what a great offensive player he is, but you got to start limiting his minutes hot balls, I think, until you get the other parts of this defense. Like, the easiest way to fix this defense, is unfortunately to take Solo off the floor right now.
He's a milk check.
Yeah.
But that's a big ask. I know.
It's a big ask with where they're at physically. You know what I mean? So, like, there's another piece on that. But,
I mean, he did only play 19 minutes tonight because of the fouls. It's
the fouls, but like, I don't even know if I want to say this because I feel like I need to be careful with how I say it. But even offensively, like, nobody's like forcing things more than Solo is.
Mm-hmm. I do.
I mean, we joke the running joke, like, he doesn't pass in transition. Kind of kamikazes into the lane. Like, he's got a nice mid-range game for sure. He's a volume shooter from 3, forces up a lot of shots. Tonight we saw the kick out thing, trying to get fouled again. And so, like, I don't know, man. I'm not staring at the math, so, I can't say it definitively, but, we're just trying to do too much offensively, and he's just not ever going to be like, look, Jordan Hawkins was not a great defensive basketball player, right? But like, the biggest difference with this team, and this is like, gets back to what I was talking about. It's the physicality where you can get away with certain, limitations. When you have, a guy as skilled and as good at recovering and as smart and intelligent as Adama Sanogo was. And then you have Andre Jackson, who, like, again, unicorn player, like, just thrived on those physical, like, big war aspects of a basketball game, right? We have Tristan Newton, who, took a little to figure it out defensively. Alex in 23. So that's your 23 team. So, like, you can kind of get away with it a little bit more having a Jordan Hawkins solo ball type out there. You go to 24, like, the whole backcourt were units. I mean, we had Tristan, Cam is built like a brick. You have freaking Steph Castle out there. And vastly improved Alex. And then, of course, generational center sitting in the middle, like you can afford to have a guy that's, mostly an offensive guy, even if he's a little bit more volume. With this crew, like we just don't have the physicality and the ways to hide him with these rotations on defense, right? So it just takes a bad problem and it makes it worse. But he's definitely, I'm not looking at the metrics, so I don't even know if I want to say this, but watching him, it's not efficient offensively, right? And he's been kind of where a lot of offensive possessions go to die. So, I've been talking about it for months. I don't think you can have Braylon and Solo on the court at the same time. But also, I think you could probably put Alex into that mix. I'd rather have Alex on the floor than either of them. I want to be really blunt about that. But you have three shooters that kind of all do the same thing that have to be able to get their shots up to be effective. And they have too many of them. And defensively, it's not physical enough. And there's just too many holes there. Whereas, I keep saying, you move Stewie out there, you move Jaden, you're adding more girth, a little bit more physicality, and you're you're more direct to sender when it comes to the offensive actions that you're playing. So, but like I said, if Jalen's going to go out in 10 minutes and just disappear like he did tonight, how do you justify doing that? And Jaden, we've talked about it all the time. I mean, it's bonsai basketball. It's great. It's spectacular. Even when it's bad, it's hypnotizing, but it can't be bad. So those guys have got to find consistency to be able to do that. And coaches, Dan says all the time, there's nothing political about playing time, and college coaches are kind of all the same animal, man. They have to be able to trust you to play you, and you can't go out there and have consistency. Even coaches will play lesser players if they know what they're going to get out of them. They know how to use them. But if you don't know what you're getting night to night with those guys, it makes it harder to mess around, with that rotation. But, if there was a guy again that I would be kind of fixating on, Solo would probably be the guy. But then again, look, had a dog shit night tonight. He's been the best offensive player on the team the last freaking 4 games leading into this. You know what I mean? So it's what the fuck are you talking about? So again, it's just been that kind of a year this year where I feel like it's just whack-a-mole. It's you solve one problem, and then in another hole, the problem pops up, and then you tamp that one down and it comes out over here. And just trying to get it all on the same page has been a bear. And in spite of it, they've got a great record. Everything's okay. The world will continue for a 2 seed. But man, it's frustrating. It's frustrating to watch it in real time, when you know what the idea of this thing could be.
Yeah, we talked about this. It's also wild because I can't think of a UConn team quite like it or a season quite like it. Usually the team gets better at this time of year, and if it isn't, it's because it's it was an NIT year, right? And it was, you're building towards the future, but this is a UConn team that's supposed to be right now, and they're 24-3. They still control their own destiny in the Big East, even though they're they're in second place right now. But it's like you said, it feels like to fix the offense, suddenly the defense has gone way the other way, and you can hear it in Dan's voice that it's something he's wrestling with. He doesn't have all the answers, as good as he is, and they're searching to find them, find enough of them. And what also kind of masks it until tonight, we've talked about with the league being down, is you can get away with a lot of this stuff. Tonight they finally found something they aggressively could not get away with, even against a team that was 13-13. They've got a Hall of Fame level coach, so it's what can they fix in 3 days for the Villanova game? They don't have to permanently fix the defense, but it can't be what it was tonight. And what's a huge game for Villanova, they always get everybody's best shot, but that's in NCAA. They will play 2 straight NCAA tournament teams now, which has not happened since November. Or December, I should say, because I think Texas is going to get there. But it's a big challenge for them now, and the tape is out there. So they're going to have to install some stuff that isn't on any tape. And it sounds like that's what they're leaning towards. I think Dan might be ready to just totally rip the Band-Aid on the whole Terrace thing to some degrees and just, I mean, does he want to give Eric Ryba 30 minutes a game? Maybe. I didn't think Eric was great tonight. I didn't think he was like terrible. But yeah, it's frustrating because it's I'm not sure how to fix it, and I don't think they know how either.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the bench right now. It's like Eric's probably the guy that like he's been fine. Eric has done what Eric needs to be, and your backup center is not going to have a great game every single game. And he's not going to be awesome every single game, but like there's enough from Eric where like when he contributes, it's significant, and like dude, you can see the talent in him. You know, he's just a freshman physically. They need to get him a little bit bigger and stronger. Like he's the one guy right now I'm looking at like next year. I'm really looking forward to seeing what he is. I have no reservations about moving him into a starting lineup, what his ceiling can be, anything. But like, man, like it's really, they're just really caught out in between with a lot of guys right now. And if, you know, Dan has said it 1,000,001 times, like Ross gave him great minutes tonight. Ross gave him 27 minutes tonight, by the way. 27 minutes.
Yeah, it was tied for a career high. He played 27 last year in the win at Marquette. The only other time.
So like,
I think Dan's fully in on Jaden at this point, like being confident to put him in the game. I think Jaden's I don't know if he's playing 27, but I think he's getting 20 plus minutes a game because the other thing, Hot Balls, is me talking about Solo's minutes. You got to give them to somebody else, right? Like that's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm surprised how few options there are for what this roster is in a lot of these situations.
Yeah. And we're starting to see, it's just a lot of in between. So I think there's a couple scenarios where they can get everything figured out. Everything will be okay. Everybody can take a deep breath. I don't think this game's the end of the world. I do think tonight is probably more of an aberration than the norm, even though we've seen them flirting with this a lot. But the bench can't be this. And now I'm more worried about that. You know, it's just the wear and tear on the starting five right now. And it's starting to add up. We're starting to see it, you know, like they look lethargic tonight. And, it's always got to step up, man. It's just what it always is. Somebody's got to be able to do it. So we'll see what happens. Right. We're going to move it on to Quailman here in 1 minute. But before we do that, folks, if you want to talk about a Connecticut business, nothing comes close to Martin Roll Souls since 1928. Martin Roll Souls has been feeding cranky Huskies fans all over Connecticut and beyond. Hot dogs, sausages, kielbasa's, and deli meats. They have everything we need to keep jerks like Hurley Mania fed, quiet, and they didn't threaten to pull their sponsorship over it, even a place to frankly just leave him. But I promise we wouldn't do that to them. Again, that's Martin Roll Souls at 45 Grove Street in New Britain, the official sponsor of the Connecticut Basketball Spaces. We don't want to lie. Quail Man, what do you want?
What's up?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. Yeah, it's funny. This team's a lot better on paper than last year. Yeah, I find myself feeling the same way about it at this point in the year, this last year's team, which is depressing in some ways. I am happy that the narrative, at least until Saturday, is going to be about the actual team and not the attendance in Gamble.
I know.
Which was literally every single, from the Barstool morons to ESPN sleepers, name someone that talks about college basketball. That's all that was discussed, which maybe Dan should take some points about taking on the fan base going forward.
Yeah, I don't think the fan base did themselves any favors on that one either.
Fair.
Yeah. Yeah, I think everybody was bad there, and I think everybody just has to just kind of stand up, brush themselves on, and just move on. We're just bad week.
I will say one very funny silver lining about that was it led to basically Province fans just going back and measuring the attendance of every game that they had this year as a way to not discuss how shady their basketball team is, which I found very humorous. But yeah, I mean, in terms of going forward, I think tonight we just kind of saw how this team could have an early exit in March. This is basically going to be the scenario in which it's going to happen, where guys just get through the lane, and then they just have a cold shooting night from two of their three best players. So hopefully on that end, they can kind of normalize in terms of it not getting that cold for that stressful period. I do think Braylon just needs to take more shots than Solo going forward, or they at least need to run the offense through him a bit more. And I don't think it's coincidence that this team was a top 5 defense when Rybo was playing more minutes. It's just kind of my take on it.
Yeah, listen. If you want Braylon to take more shots, nobody is a bigger fan of that than Braylon because he was hunting.
It was
it got a little over the top in the second half, but also he was the one guy offensively that I had any belief in to be able to execute anything. I actually had somebody tweeted the stat. I retweeted it during the space. Let me see if I can get it up here. It's wild. So UConn was up 6 thanks to Brian Kervick of Store Central, one of our compatriots here. UConn was up 6 with 15:08 to go. From that point on until Silas's and 1 with 1:40 to go, the non-Mullins Huskies, so over about 13 and a half minutes, were 1 for 12 from the floor and 0 for 1 at the free throw line. It's the sort of stat that makes me feel better because I don't think that's happening again. But yeah, Braylon certainly had the green light.
I'm probably one of the biggest Alex Karaban defenders in my friend group that talks about this team more than you probably should on a daily basis. It was just tough seeing him out there tonight because he was clearly just. If there's ever a game for Stewie to get a lot of minutes, if nothing else, just to see what he looks like when you give him a near starter minutes, tonight was tonight, and doesn't really speak well that Dan was hesitant to do so.
Yeah, exactly. I can't think of a more damning indictment of Jalen Stewart than tonight when he couldn't play more than 10 minutes. Because at Hot Balls, I'll tee it up to you on this. Like the Alex minutes thing, we've been talking about it for a month. This is not sustainable. And tonight you saw what happens.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen how many good teams the last couple of years just get ground into dust. And the 20, we talk about 23 and 24 fondly. 22 happened because the bench wasn't good enough. And we ground RJ Cole and Adama Sanogo and Tyrese Martin into angel dust. Houston has had a bunch of very good teams gas out, major injury issues, going through a really difficult Big 12 season because they're not that deep. We've watched Marquette multiple times with 2 extraordinarily good teams run short rotations, gas out, flame out, right? We've watched, I just had Marquette on the tip of the Creighton's lack depth for years. It's happened to them. They have 1 injury and it's like having 3 on our roster. So there's just so many examples of that. And so if your bench can't step up and do what needs to be done and contribute in a positive way, it's going to keep adding up. But again, it's just Eric's done his part. Mally has not. And I got my eye on that too, man. Silas played 32 tonight, which is a little less than he has. Mally wasn't horrific tonight. But not really making a huge impact. Stewie and Jaden are just inconsistent. And you're just at a point in the season where I don't think Dan is going to look deeper down the bench for help. I just don't see that being.
You don't think Jacob Murphy is suddenly going to get into the rotation?
His time has come.
Yeah, I don't think that's suddenly going to happen. And although Dan was pretty funny the other day, didn't he bring up Millender?
Did he? By the way, my other one, because
by the way, he's my favorite bench guy at UConn.
Incredible saluting Alex on Saturday. That was great.
Now he's using him as a weapon to threaten other guys on the team with. Don't make me play Millender.
Well, my version of that is if this team isn't rebounding, I mean, Dwayne Caroma can't play 2 minutes. I know he does nothing.
But I do not want to.
I know.
Don't even go there.
This idea either, but
do not tempt the masses. We are not. No, I refuse. I'm not getting into this.
I did think they looked good with Jaden at the 4, which is a sentence I can't believe.
Yeah,
but they did.
But look, as long as
I was clapping.
I just need him or Jalen to give us some physicality. I need somebody to crash the boards. Like, I need somebody to, like, try to take the game by the balls. And, like, Jaden may be, like, reaching for the big old nut sack, and sometimes, he's going to miss it, and sometimes he's going to jump into its warm embrace. But, like, I like a guy that, like, plays hard and gives a shit. And, like, maybe we give him some extra leash for him to kind of figure it out a little bit. And maybe that pays dividends. Like, we talked about it earlier, and I think maybe this is an area where maybe we're wrong, is that, like, you just sort of ride the hot hand as to whoever's playing better, Ross or Stewie. Can you really do that alternating, or do you just, like, just make it so practice is a nunchuck battle and be like, look, dude, one of you guys is going to oblivion. Like, that's what's going to happen the rest of the way. One of you, we are punting into the sun for the rest of the season. Who doesn't want to be that guy?
Take a pool cube, break it in half, throw it on the ground.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Like, all right, guys, let's see who comes out on top here. And, and just roll with it. I'm probably I like Jalen's skill set more, but, like, Jaden seems the guy that really wants playing time.
I think the energy is night and day when Jaden's on the floor.
Yeah. It's fair.
Yeah, and I know it can look like cringy or performative to people, but man, he gets results. And I agree with you that I think Jalen's skill set is bigger, but, like, it's not happening in the game. And when it's not happening and the comparison is the guy who it wasn't happening in the game for 2 years, that's a bad sign. Because that was always the knock on Jaden, right? We knew it was incredible practices and they put him in a game and nothing happened. And now he's doing positive things in the games. They had the best period they played tonight was when the start of the second half, Jaden Ross was in the game and Solo wasn't.
I was clapping. I was on my feet clapping when he was out there.
It was also a sign that they're willing to make, changes. I expect to see lineup changes Saturday in Philadelphia. Dan basically said it, but then it comes down to minutes distribution. It's, this team still needs Solo Ball to be a key contributor to go anywhere.
Yeah.
But it's defensively tonight was just last year.
And he may just end up being more efficient when he doesn't have to worry about Alex and Braylon being around and worrying about who's getting the ball enough times. And if he can just be the primary on the bench coming in, that could pay off for his down the line. There's a chance you could lose him permanently, but if you do, it says more about him than anything else, and kind of maybe we should be investing in him at this point, if that's the case. I don't know. Fingers crossed.
Appreciate it. Yeah, it's rough. I'm quiet because Quailman, like, I don't know either. I'm sorry. I'm glad we can just let you vent this out, but I'm just.
Also,
I don't think Hot Balls and I don't know the answers either. And it's just been a very vexing year. They're 24-3. It's not a bad year. Like, Creighton had a great night. They're having a bad year, an even worse one off the court and stuff that really, really matters. But yeah, this is perplexing as hell. I don't know how you feel.
It's two more things that I was thinking about this watching this game. Did you feel worse at the end of this game or last year's Seton Hall game in terms of where the team was? I know last year just had
last year.
I know that had more of a just apocalyptic ending, and you just felt embarrassed as a fan watching that. But in terms of where we think or thought this team could go in the beginning of the year, where it is now, all encompassing. Because by the time that Seton Hall game happened last year, I did not think that team was going anywhere.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that game up as a comparison, because that's the last time UConn had a game score in terms of performance on Torvik that was as low as tonight's 56 was the Seton Hall game. So this was, by game score, their worst game since then, and I think probably accurately too. The 24-3 this year. Yeah, it last year was worse. I mean, that's just this Creighton team's struggling, but like they have players. That Seton Hall team is hopeless, and the way that they did it was so embarrassing.
Yeah, true.
Tonight was just a bad performance, and they've got. Listen, I've been down in the dumps saying I don't know if they can't. They've got to flush it and figure out Saturday. They got to figure out Saturday. Like the game that's a week from tonight's a huge deal. That feels like it's a year from now. Like the shit they got to deal between now and then. They got to figure out Villanova first.
Yeah. And based on where we are health wise at the end of regular season, I hate to even put this out, but if they have to punt the Big East tournament to just get a week off and get healthy for March, I think I would have to sign up for that at this point.
Yeah, I don't think it's at that level, but it is something that the committee does not care about. They do not look at it.
Nope.
And we're going to see Saturday because at 12:30 they're doing the first reveal of the seed list, and it includes all games through tonight. So UConn really left an excellent final impression on the selection committee for the first time they do the exercise. So we'll see.
Is two versus one really a big deal though at this point?
No. I didn't think they were going to get a 1 because I just thought someone else was going to shake out in the Big 12.
Yeah. Oh, they're kicking the crap out of each other.
Right. And then what had helped UConn is to this point, every night, tune into Big Monday at 9 p.m. to watch two teams just throw fucking hammers at each other.
Yeah.
It's incredible what they're doing Monday after Monday. Those games are awesome. But UConn, I felt better because it was just kind of a circular firing squad. Tonight's, it's a quad 3 loss. It's terrible. It's really hard to recover from that. There are other teams that have them in there, but those teams also are going to have more quad 1 and quad 2 games. Like UConn plays 2 of them in a row, but they only have 5 quad 1 wins, I think it is. They had 4 on like January 1st. It's just the league sucks. Whereas if you're in the Big 12, you get a million chances. So, now, I mean, UConn, this is where a loss that can bump you to like the 2-3 discussion, but I'm way more about matchups with this team than that stuff.
Oh, for sure.
This team is very matchup dependent because they do not, as of this point, and they're 24-3, but they do not have a consistent calling card of here's the team that I know what I'm going to get every night at the very base level, because I don't. If we knew that, yeah, let's get as high a seed as we can and let's go beat the shit out of everybody. But this team is so kind of unreliable right now, even though they're 24-3, because the offense is getting better, but the defense is getting drastically worse. And it's like Hotball said, it's just, you got different plugging different holes in the dam. You put your finger into one hole and a new one pops up. So it's going to be all about matchups for these guys, this team specifically in March. And, you want the nice number, but I'm really just looking at like, who don't I want? Right.
Yeah. I mean, the high seed is important because you just hope that you get some help along the way and some of the higher seeds get caught. So as long as you just handle business in the first weekend, things up for grabs at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my worry right now is like, and you have seasons like this sometimes where it's just, I feel like they're so caught between with so many guys. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense?
Like, tweener season.
Yeah, you just got you got some guys that like they're going to give you something a couple games. They're going to be more of a liability in other games. It's hard to find that day-to-day consistency to like really buy into like a specific rotation that you want to stick to, but at like the same time, the rotations give you enough like that you're optimistic that they might figure it out, right? Like you're kind of chasing it. You're just caught in between like, oh, we've got it. Oh, no, we don't. This is finally us turning no, we have not turned the corner. And so it's just really, and then you've got some of the health issues. We've got some bench issues. And so like it just makes it harder to kind of adapt to what's going on. And I don't think I've had a year here where I've seen Dan seem less sure of himself and like what he wants to do with this team. Like we've seen so many weird rotations in the last 4 or 5 weeks. I feel like so many weird rotations. Like, I don't feel like he's got his finger on this either.
No.
And I don't know if that scares me, but like, you know, I mean, there's so many scenarios on the table for this team. It's just,
because
it's
with last
unsettling.
year, with last year, it was kind of easy. You just knew what the problems were, and they were what they were. And you had to just wait through the season and make the best you could of it. And they made a pretty good fist of it and then fix it in the transfer portal. And they went out and they fixed that, the biggest issue in the transfer portal. And they got no progression whatsoever from the entire junior class.
Yeah.
I mean, Jaden isn't the best of the junior class, but has Jaden had a better year than Solo? No, but like he's made more improvements than Solo has. Solo's a better player. I'm not trying to be crazy, but that's the other thing. Like, and there's no way you see that coming. Maybe one of them, but for, two key guys to just not at all progress. And, Solo's a 30% shooter from 3 now with everything else.
Yeah.
That's why I think he's confused, because the things that he has never been an issue for him in his career, is even with these guys, is player development. He's got 2 highly rated recruits who stuck around, didn't leave, and been loyal and work hard, and they are getting worse.
Mercurial.
Yeah.
Mercurial, to say the least. And like, that's, it's a tough roster right now to make kind of heads or tails of. Like, again, they lost probably the game that they should in the conference, and they had a banana peel game. Like, we said this in the non-con. These 2 games happen every year.
Yeah.
They happen a little bit closer together. And yeah, I think that makes you, that's sort of like, pushes you more in the direction of, oh, we are a fucking disaster. But they also had some of their best performances of the year leading into that section. And, sort of sandwiched between a lot of like plotting, play with your food.
Yeah.
Not go melt the team's face off. And so like, it just gets hard to figure out what you got. And it's, I said it just a little bit earlier, college coaches play guys that they can trust, and trust comes from predictability, right? Like, when I had my team last year, like at my summer college team it's probably the most talented group of prospects I've had, since I've been with my team, and they were just all over the place.
Had a great year.
Horrible year. And it was like so up and down, and everybody would give you just enough. And like, we just didn't have enough floor guys, where, this year we're, putting a lot more of an emphasis on just, are these guys going to be league all-stars? Are they going to be high-end pro prospects? Probably not. Are they going to go out and hit 265 and get on base at a 375 clip and, slug a little or steal some bases or play dependable defense in a position of need? Yes. So volatility, there's just nothing worse than like mass volatility on a roster from a coach's standpoint, where, he's got some guys that are dependable, Silas and Alex, 1 and 1A, right?
Yep.
But then the whole rest of the roster is like, I don't know, man. Like Terrace has 3 games within 1 game. Solo is dumping 25 points in for a game for 2 weeks, and then does what he did tonight. Braylon, I think Braylon's been pretty consistent in all things considered, just injury issues aside. But like, Eric's, looks like a world beater one day, and then he's not when he's a freshman, obviously. But then, you've got Jaden and Jalen who like, one game, Jalen looks great. Another game, Jaden looks great. One game, they both look great. And then there's another game when neither one of them show up. Right. And so it's just a lot of moving parts, man. It's tough. It's like really tough to like go. You're in February, like at this time of the year, you really need to be settling in to your rotations and what works. And I got to be honest, like I feel like Dan's farther away from that than he was in November.
And Silas has been a home run, obviously, for this team. But if there was one critique or one thing I would love to see more, is he just needs to get Tristan's mindset where fuck what the play call is. Go with I see a lot of heads spin, eyes around. I'm taking this to the rack. I am scoring for a couple of things. We need to stabilize things. And it would drive Dan crazy sometimes, but it ended up being, I think, a good factor for those teams. Was there was just one guy that would just say that we're not playing in the offense right now because guys are just not playing with conviction right now. These last couple of plays,
Not playing with intentionality,
yes.
as they like to say. Go out and be deliberate. Quail Man, I'm going to move it along here.
Yep.
It's getting a little late, but I appreciate you calling in. Appreciate the contribution. Thank you. All right, we got cash fraud here, and then we'll get a little Darren Peterson hate in before we sign off.
No,
Cash fraud, what do you got?
I'm so glad you saw the video. I needed you to see it.
Darren Peterson
Did you see the Bill Self quote? That's very important. Bill Self went in on him. Love it. Cash fraud. Things we don't love tonight.
Yeah, I don't even know. I'm at a loss because like they did what I said, like they played Jalen with the starters for solo. And it was still it just didn't work. It's just so I don't know. They tried all the things. They tried playing Jalen. Solo played a little less minutes. Alex played a little less minutes. Like we tried all the things and we just didn't have any of the answers tonight.
I even think he gave Jalen like a long leash at the start too. Like Jalen made a mistake and he didn't immediately pull him. Like he gave him time, but it just kept happening. Yeah, I think that's an important point. Tonight, I did think most of the sub patterns I thought were better. We did not see a lot of the line changes. The one that kills you is that 5 minutes in the second half, when UConn's cooking, he doesn't just bring Solo back in, but he changes 2 other guys too. Like, I don't know why we're still doing the line change thing every time this team this year does it. It's bad. They change way too many parts at once. It's way too much.
This is gonna sound crazy, but the first 4 minutes of the game, I thought we actually looked great.
We did. Yep, they had 2 threes that rimmed out, and they had a floater that rimmed out. I mean, that's 8 points right there. I mean, you don't need to get all 8, but getting none of them was
yeah.
Pretty
like
annoying.
the first couple of minutes of this game, I thought we looked the best we had in like maybe a month, and then it just all fell apart. And a lot of that was due to Terrace. Like Terrace Reed was really good the first couple minutes of the game. Like he was rolling hard. He was moving quickly through the lane, and it just freed up so much space for Silas and all those little dump offs to Terrace. And then we just stopped doing it.
Yeah, then we decided to just throw 3 passes in the paint again, and they tried Hotballs. I thought they tried to do lobs tonight, and every one of them was a disaster. Like, it's way too late in the year to start trying to do lobs. It's just
we used to hit
happen.
2 to 3 lobs a game.
Easy. It was the first play of every game was the same.
I haven't seen. You see one every 3 weeks, and it's usually very poorly executed.
Jaden throwing one to Braylon when he was hurt. Oh my God, I was.
But yeah, that's just what happens when, like, Jalen, Solo, Alex, and Braylon for the first half. He got a lot better in the second half. Just can't stay in front of anyone. Even Silas got driven a couple times tonight in a way that he hadn't been in like 2 months. Like he had some issues with it early in the year, but then he cleaned it up, and then it kind of crept back in tonight.
Yeah, they're to quote another coach, they're laterally slow as a team defensively. That's the biggest issue. It's they can't stay in front of people, and then they start making up for it with their hands, and it never works.
I don't know. The one on Jalen was like really apparent to me. I don't know. I just don't know if you can have a 6'8" dude playing in another guy's jersey and expect him to not get driven. I don't know if that's possible. He's always been more comfortable guarding in the post.
Yeah, I want to see. I'll say this. I want to see more of this Jaden playing a bullshit 4 thing. I actually liked it tonight, and it's not the perfect ideal answer, but in this current environment where if Jalen isn't going to be usable, and we got to manage Alex's minutes here. I think maybe Jaden gets some spot duty there. It's going to be heavily matchup dependent. They're going to play a Villanova team coming up on Saturday that, doesn't really have a ton of size. I mean, it's Matt Hodge. Duke Brennan's not going to be the assignment. So, we got a lot of 6'3", 6'4" guys out there. So there's that. I mean, I think there's the opportunity to roll the Jaden thing at 4 a little bit.
But we're gonna need Jalen. If we want any chance to beat a Michigan, we're gonna need Jalen Stewart to.
Oh yeah. If you get to that sort of game, and it's not even just Michigan. I'm into anybody in the top 10 in Ken Pom, they're gonna need everybody.
Right now, it's not perfect, but I think that there's 12 teams in Ken Pom, and they're in UConn's 14th. So. But they're not necessarily all of the teams ahead of them, but I think 12 teams in the top 25 would beat them right now.
Yeah, it's funny. I actually think they'd do okay in a lot of those games. Those aren't the ones I'm worried about. It's if they had to play Tennessee. What would Darius Acuff do to this team?
Yeah.
That kid looks unbelievable. He went completely nuclear tonight, 49 points in the double OT loss at Alabama. Yeah, it's a deep year, and that's the thing that gives me hope is remembering that this is still a good UConn team. There's a lot of really good teams this year. It's just the way that the sport the direction it's gone in. It's been an amazing year for the sport. This week has sucked for us, but it's also sucked across the sport. The JT Toppin thing is fucking awful, and thank God we aren't dealing with that. But yeah, if they get into a position where they got to play
and maybe
Michigan, Houston, yeah,
and maybe everybody. 3 of those 12 teams are teams we've already beaten.
Correct. Yeah, it's gonna. Yeah, let's see. I mean, you always want the other ones to get knocked out, but I really this UConn team. It's wild to me that of Michigan, Duke, Arizona, Houston, and Iowa State, one of those teams cannot make the Final Four. Which is one of them can't, and that's crazy to me because they're all elite teams in my view. But we got more behind that. Cash Rod, one of those other elite teams.
What do you think our seed range is right now?
I think right now it's 2 to 4. I mean, we'll see if they drop the next 2.
That's what I was thinking.
Are they 4? I'm not saying they will drop. I know I sounded like it earlier, but I'm gonna talk myself into it positively. I think they're a 2 to 4 range. Because the thing you have to remember is the other teams are going to lose games too. They're going to be, so many of them are in the same league and they're going to play one another, even before championship week, which won't matter. That's the thing they're going to run. They're going to all play TCU, who has the most psychotic resume I have ever seen. Folks, if you haven't done it, go look up TCU's resume. This thing's insane. That's why they're a team. I want no part of them if they get in, because TCU has this year beaten Florida and Iowa State, and also lost by 26 at Colorado.
I think they're super matchup dependent type team.
Yep. Also beat Wisconsin.
They're really small. Yeah, they don't play a player taller than 6'8".
Okay, so we can play them. I would take TCU there. I've got one. Yeah, very matchup defense. So sorry, your other question. Yeah, I think UConn right now, I mean, even with tonight's shitty loss, they're 2, I think, because of what they've done before tonight. And it's obviously it's a terrible loss, but they have a lot of really good wins. Almost everybody has a blemish on the resume who's not on the 2 line. Who's a 1, basically. If you're a 1, you don't have something like this, I don't think. Can't really think of one off the top of my head. Michigan to Wisconsin, but that wasn't a Q3. UConn's probably right now a 2 seed, 2 or 3 seed. And hey, I'd rather be the 2 I don't want any part of Houston in Houston. Let's get there. And tonight it feels like that's a big ask, but I don't want to have to deal with that. I would much rather be a 3 in the East with Duke than be in Houston's region in Houston. That team looks incredible. I know they lost Monday, but Kingston Flemings is a freaking alien.
Yeah, I don't want any part of them either. They definitely, I think, want to be the 2 seed, but I don't think you want to fall to a 3. And you really have to thread the needle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they should win the games. I mean, if winning solves all this, and It'll be a brutal film tomorrow, but they've got to get on the horse Saturday for Villanova. If they beat Villanova in St. John's, tonight doesn't matter, and it's just really annoying. But a lot of holes to fix. And I mean, Rick's already diagnosed them once. Kevin Willard's no slouch. So they're also in a part of the schedule here where they're getting, 3 really good coaches in a row, breaking them down. So we'll see.
And then what is it, Shaw after that?
Yeah, that's Shaw. Oh, I mean, if you think we had a bad loss tonight, folks. Hot balls, I think DePaul 69, Seton Hall 57 at the Rock is, we can play taps on the at-large hopes for the Seton Hall Pirates.
Yeah, that's done. That's done and overdone.
That is done. That is over.
Absolutely fini.
But
as the French would say.
It also means the DePaul Blue Demons are 6-9. Nice. And the dream of a bye for DePaul is very much alive.
Yeah.
Very much alive. I mean, Creighton winning tonight really screws DePaul as much as UConn, if you think about it, in terms of what really matters. Because DePaul's got an outside shot at the 5 seed. They really do. This league is so bad.
I mean, if we had won tonight, they would be 1 game back of both Creighton and Seton Hall for the 4 seed.
I do love the fact that we're going to very likely get another Seton Hall Creighton game because those 2 games were completely insane. So it's not going to be beautiful basketball, but what I think we're going to get, I just took a look at, of course I closed it. The Big East standings as of tonight, of course, UConn falls into the 2-hole and kind of what they'd be looking at going forward. So if I just include tonight, by the way, all 4 road teams winning tonight in the league, very weird. Terrible for us. As of tonight, UConn, of course, in the 2 seed would be playing the Providence Xavier winner. I know Providence is a mess. I want no part of that team again. UConn never plays well against them. Offensively, they're really good. They've got this fight thing. We'll see. So it'll be UConn against Providence Xavier. You got Villanova, of course, in the 3 playing Marquette DePaul. That'd be fun. Georgetown Butler, the 8-9 game, and Seton Hall Creighton, the 4-5. So right now, and listen, also in terms of people wanting to get tickets, if UConn had won the next 3, you could basically lock up. At that point, you largely knew they were going to be the noon game on Thursday. As of now, it's 7 p.m. Now, you wouldn't be on Peacock, so some folks would like that. But as of now, UConn would be in the 7 p.m. game on quarterfinal Thursday. But a long way to go.
Got a ways till we're there.
UConn, one of the 3 teams in the league that's over 500.
By the way, I thought the refs were bad tonight, but definitely not the reason we lost. I didn't even know that we were minus 16 at the line until I checked 2 minutes ago.
There were only 2 or 3 that I disliked. I thought the refs were fine. The refs were fine. We do too much. We foul too much. I don't care.
Yeah, but
I don't care. The refs are fine.
But
not the refs.
But even Creighton fans were saying that we were getting a shitty whistle. So that's, But
yeah, it's all true.
We've done a quarter of the season, and unless he gets fired between now and next week, he's
we're going to have him again. I think for St. John's, right?
Yeah, I was talking to Jaden about that. He doesn't think we will, but we might get Notorious BOC instead. But we're going to get him again at some point here.
Yeah, it's just
going to duck it.
It's all of. I don't think it's a grand conspiracy. The Big East refs have already this. Like we dog Purdue for this shit last night. We watched them get bullied by another big, large team, right? Like that group, Braden Smith, Fletcher Lawyer, that group have massive physicality and strength issues. It has been 3 years. The same group of players has had the same issues. This is the 2nd year in a row that players that traditionally foul a lot are still fouling a fuck ton. That's what they do. We have a lot of guys on this roster that shoot free throws historically like shit. They're still shooting free throws like shit. So, I'm just at a point right now where we don't get called for enough fouls when we're on offense. We get grabbed, held constantly. I totally agree with that. I think we get too harsh of a whistle on defense, but reputation earned. When you foul as much as we do, refs go out looking for it. So, they've got to be able to figure out a way to clean it up.
The problem is we're bigger, stronger, and more athletic than Creighton, and we still got outshot by 20 at the free throw line against them. That's the problem.
Yes, because they blew by us and we committed sloppy fouls. Exact shit we did last year.
Yeah.
Everything you're saying is why it's annoying.
We have it's annoying, but we are a laterally slow team.
Yes.
We just, it is what this group is. And when you're getting straight fucking line drives to the basket, it is what it is. And instead of gaining position or fighting for position, we reach, we slap, we do whatever the fuck it is that we do. And we take a bad problem and we make it infinitely worse.
So the problem is we get screwed both ways. When we play a super physical team like St. John's, we get called for fouls because we're fucking weak, and they initiate all the contact into us. And then when we play a team like Creighton that we're more physical than, and they call the flops, while they're still initiating the contact into us, I don't get how to fix it.
We just do a lot of dumb shit defensively where it's Jaden Ross is he doesn't kind of almost public enemy number one when I watch him play defense. How many times have you seen Jaden go in the air to try to block a shot and instead just hands up is swatting at it? You miss on the swat and you hit a guy, you're getting called for a foul.
Yeah.
I have seen Braylon Mullins reach into a dude's midsection to try to pick somebody's pocket. I've seen him hand check like crazy on the baseline. He does it. His hands are all over guys all the fucking time. You're going to get called. I don't care if it's super physical or it's that is going to get called all of the fucking time. You know what I mean? How many times I watch Terrace in the low post and guys post him up and his hands aren't up. They're down at his side, just waiting for guys to fucking make a move into the middle of the baseline, and he fucking follows them. And it's usually a hand on the back and it's another hand in their grill, and he's not in position, and you're going to whistle for that. You're just going to. I don't know what else to say at this point. Every basketball official on planet fucking Earth is going to make that call. Yeah. So stop. Figure out a way to play better position. Figure out a way to play better defense. The 24 team didn't do this. The 23 team didn't do this. The 22 team didn't do this. Now, still, we foul more than other programs. Dan's teams have always fouled at a higher rate. It's kind of baked into the cake. We talk about this, right? But not to the degree this group has the last 2 years. They're fucking hacks. And it just is what it is. And until they start to fucking clean it up, it's going to continue to be an issue. And teams know what the book is now. It's really easy. Pull the rim protection away from their basket, get downhill, and you're going to get fucking something that you want. Either an easy bucket where they can't get position on you, you're going to get a pair of free throws, or you're going to get both.
Yeah, we really need to not let people get to the center of the court so easily. We need to start pushing them out towards the sidelines, because once they get to the center of the court, it's just straight downhill from there.
Yeah.
We need to start icing way more screens, I think.
And then
push them to the sideline.
Yeah, and there's some of the issues too, Terrace's help defense, even when he's in the paint, sucks.
Yeah, but it happens so much quicker when you let people get to the center of the court. If you just
100%, if
they're not just straight to the paint, then you have a lot more time to recover.
Yep. Yeah, 100%. So it's they just got, it's one of those things. I mean, we talked about it constantly in the build up to the season. Can they get this defense to be a top 20 defense? And for the majority of the year, it's been excellent. But now it looks like something worse than what it looked like last year, which is fucking crazy to say. So you have to kind of take a look at the larger sample and be all right, Are we getting better? How much are we getting better? Or is this something that just, with this particular group of players, just has a hard cap on it? And that's what this is, right? Heading forward. And you need to figure out how to manage the deficiency. And having watched this crew for the last couple of years, like, I'm probably erring a little bit more towards, the latter. Like, the big thing that was really propping our defensive metrics up was our 3-point defense, which is, Harley Mania talks about this all the time. It's the most widest variation you're going to get in defensive metrics. You don't have a ton of control over it. So when teams start to bomb away from three and randomly, like, that affects that. So I think teams just completely adjusted to the way we do things. And, Dan gets paid the big bucks to figure this out, but they got a lot to figure out. I don't know if we've gotten away with hiding it or if this team's like gotten better defensively. That's the big $1 million question on that end of things.
Well, Duke and Michigan both are holding opponents under 30% from three as well. So
yeah. Yep.
It's not just this. Some of it is obviously just having, like, forcing more bad threes, but some of it is also with, like, your length and your athleticism, but some of it is also some luck.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, we're going to see too, like, the other thing with the teams at the top of KenPom, like, they've gone through most of the soft spot of their, portions of their schedule. So they're all like, I mean, Michigan's home stretch is insane right now. They have Duke on a neutral. They obviously have Minnesota. That's easy peasy at home. They got Illinois, Iowa, and Michigan. They got 3 top 25 teams. So 5 if you count Purdue last night. So they're 1-0 and sort of their death stretch. And then they got to go to the Big Ten tournament. And, we'll have a clear understanding of where they're at there. Same thing with Arizona. So, again, for as easy it is to get sucked into what we're doing and not doing well, like, we're going to find out about a lot of teams here in the next week and a half, 2 weeks.
Saturday's going to be incredible with Arizona, Houston, and then Michigan, Duke, which it's going to be wild seeing a full Capital One Arena for a college basketball game. That's going to be jarring, where it's like the get-in price is a couple $100 already. But yeah, that's going to be a wild day. And of course, we've got our game going on that day too. But we're in the part of the schedule where you find a lot out about pretty much everybody. And hot balls, we found a little bit about Darren Peterson tonight too.
We did.
Very little bit. 18 minutes.
18 minutes, 23 points. It was a great 18 minutes.
It's incredible. Incredible. Bill Self couldn't believe it.
And so got 3 minutes into the second half and said, it's right on video, folks. Right on video. Look at your timeline. Turned right to Bill Self and was like, hey, I'm done.
That's it for me, folks.
Smell ya.
I don't know why we're still pretending to be surprised about this.
I'm not surprised. I just want to point it out. I don't want this shit to be acceptable in college basketball. And in my little corner of the world, where I have like a sliver of influence, I'm going to use every little bit of it to shit on players like that. Fuck that guy. I do not want any of that shit here. I think Dan's done a very good job of like avoiding that kind of shit for a long time, but like I do not want this shit seeping into UConn or college basketball writ large. It sucks. And I just hate me guys. I want me guys to get hit with a train. I do not want them to be successful. I actively root against them. There's always going to be another guy that's going to be better, more unique, interesting. Fuck him.
Do you guys agree with me that like he's just managing perception, right? Like,
Self has been tonight. He didn't.
No, I mean Peterson. He's just like, as long as he's a projected like top 2 pick, he's just not going to play. Like,
yeah,
he comes in for 18 minutes, plays great, so he's like, all right, I'm out, and then he sits out against really good or physical opponents or really bad opponents, where if he has a bad game, it'll look bad.
Yep. Yes. Total me guy shit. Got enough of those in the NBA. Bad for the game. They're struggling with it right now.
So what happens when Kansas has to play a really good physical team in March, and he is not prepared for it at all?
Or he just decides not to play in the game.
Yeah.
Like, it's great to have like the number up on the wall. It says I went to the NBA and was really good, but like, To me, it's like a for the good of the game thing. I will totally be like an altruistic, mushball old head about this shit. Like the NBA has so many issues, right? They're talking about getting rid of the fucking draft. The teams purposely tank and guys are load managing all the time. So like fans go to games and in addition to getting absolutely butt fucked with increasing prices, like you could spend all this money, take your kid to the game, and you're not going to see half the players that you're paying the premium price to go see. That is fucking gross. I don't really give a shit. Like it's an entertainment product at the end of the day. Like I get it. These guys have careers. They're all making millions of dollars. Like if, Kevin Durant went out tomorrow and both his legs snapped in half, he would barely have a worry in the world for the rest of his life. I just don't want to hear about it. It's so bad for the game. It's starting to hurt the ratings. It's not an entertaining product. And that shit eventually starts to trickle down in the college game. And we're starting to see it. And maybe it's inevitable. Maybe I'm just stupid, naive, bullheaded, pig-headed. I don't care. I will go down on the ship about it. And every time I catch it, I'm going to point it out. I'm going to fucking make fun of it. And I'm going to shit all over that kid's face because he deserves it. I hope he drops in the draft. He won't, by the way, but I hope he does.
No, he won't. No chance.
I would actively be rooting against him. And like to watch one of the best coaches in college basketball just sit there and take it is humiliating for the sport. And watch one of the best fan bases and programs in the country just sit there and take it.
Oh, they're pretty
and be
bad.
expected to do that. They are, but like they should be shitting on him. Like I would be all up and down that dude's backside if we had a guy like that here at UConn. I would not be doing the I'm going to try to understand him thing. I do not give a fuck. That guy's making millions of dollars at Kansas. He's actively stealing some boosters' money. Like, so also he can use this thing that's like a valuable state institution, man. Like these things mean things to people. Like it impacts people's moods. Like these are cultural entities, and to use it as a me guy trampoline to just be an insufferable cunt about your totally disposable NBA career, I could give two flying fucks about it. So I hate the guy. I can't stand shit like that. It makes me so mad. I don't want players in the game like that. I don't like seeing that behavior be encouraged. I hate seeing it being protected. I'm glad Bill's starting to kind of like take the mask off a little bit because it's just bad. I hate watching. I mean, when that fucking photo went out, the last game of the guy on the scorecard, like Jeff Goodman was like literally tripping with his pants down around his ankle to like be, so he doesn't work with Kansas. They're like, they all just fucking line up and guard this shit. And it's so fucking damaging. I am done with it. So fuck these guys. Don't protect them. It's bad. It's shitty. It's obvious. Call it out for being bad and shitty.
Do you think Bill Self should Mick Cronin him?
Yes.
Oh,
1000% Mick Cronin him into the Mick Cronin son. If there was a planet Cronin somewhere, like I hate it so, it makes me so angry, man. It literally lives in my ass. I don't get mad about a lot of things. It really makes me angry. Watching his stupid fucking mug on TV every night. Will he play or won't he play? Like, this guy goes out and blows his fucking knee out in 2 years. Nobody's going to remember a fucking thing he ever did. Everybody's got to go through this whole thing this year. People are losing money over it. Other players' performance and record and perception is getting affected by it. Hall of Fame basketball coach is out there fucking babysitting and wiping his ass every other day. What the fuck are we doing, man? Forget it. So anyways, he asked to be subbed out of the game tonight, 3 minutes in. So he's more important than everything else that's going on around Kansas basketball. So don't forget that.
And by the way, I don't think any of those teams are going to give Michigan any trouble. Maybe Duke, but like Michigan State looked terrible against Michigan last time. They just had no answers on offense for Michigan's defense because they can't shoot threes.
Yeah, exactly. It should be a whale of a game on Saturday, but I don't know anybody else in that league who's touching them. They'll stub their toe at some point. Possibly, you would think, because that usually
I don't think so.
It might have already happened. It might be the Wisconsin game.
There's nobody in the Big Ten with enough athleticism to guard Michigan, and if they do have enough athleticism, then they're just bad on one side of it. Like, there's no team that's good on both sides of the ball and has athleticism.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Illinois could go bombs away enough for one game to maybe do it, but I'm with you.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, but like Illinois, we saw against us, like they just lack athleticism.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you, but I think they would have the best chance of anybody just because they can go ham-bone offensively. But yeah, no, I mean, Michigan State doesn't have the offense, period, to be able to do anything. I mean, Michigan State's offensive metrics have been sort of in the pooper all year, as good as they've been defensively. They're 40th.
Yeah, and they lost the one at Michigan State, right? Like the next game is at Michigan, correct?
What are you talking? No, yeah, Michigan beat Michigan State.
Yeah.
I think they only played them once this year, though. Yeah, they only played. Oh no, they played them twice. Last game of the year, they play them again. Yeah, and they're going to Michigan.
Yeah.
Yep, have fun with that.
Yeah. What is that? Is it the Breslin Center?
Yeah.
No, they're going to be at Michigan. That's the second game. They got beat at home by Michigan.
Yeah. All right.
By 12.
I don't even think it was that close.
No, we got the legendary Dusty May sitting in front of his own picture out of that one. So that was yeah. So thank you, Cash Frog.
Jaden Daly, bring us home, and then we're going to wrap it up.
Yeah, where do I begin, gentlemen? Watch this one from the home office, and I got to tell you, I feel like, and I mentioned this on the side, UConn's defense reminds me a lot of Daisuke and Okajima before hitters that played the Red Sox figured them out.
Hot balls, I'll defer to you on that one. I don't think it's a terrible analogy. It's because it feels that way, especially with the terrace thing. Everybody just drags him out to the 3-point line. Just drag him out, and suddenly the paint is there. It's yours.
He spent so much time this game between the foul line and the 3-point line on both ends of the floor. I was like kind of perplexed.
Well, the other thing about it is it's never led to anything. I can't think of an example this year where I can think of maybe one where Terrace like blitzed the screen and like forced a turnover out of it. So like, why are we doing it? Why is this what's happening? And he's not really guarding other than Zuby. Like, who's the big he's guarding that he needs to make sure doesn't get a look from outside? It's baffling.
If they switch Matt Hodge on him Saturday, that's one.
Yeah, Hodge would be
and
one.
Kevin would do that. If Hodge gets open in the corner, he burns everybody. I've seen it more than enough times this year.
Well, I mean, that's obviously going to be what the game plan is, though. Like before this, why wouldn't that be the game plan? Why wouldn't you do everything you can? All you have to do is get Terrace to go chasing out there. His recovery is non-existent.
Braylon was the only one doing anything defensively, and even he was limited tonight.
Yeah, and his defense involved a lot of reaching.
Yeah. Alex has to be playing hurt. There's no other explanation for how he played tonight, and then the comments that Dan made after the Georgetown game, and then after tonight's game, apparently from what I've seen, that he shouldn't have played him.
No, he didn't say he shouldn't have. He said maybe I should have played him. It's like, you should know. Like, like, why is this? Why are we doing this? When I say why are we doing this, I don't mean playing Alex. I mean, why is the coach unsure if he should play one of his key players? Like the training staff, can he play or not? And Alex has got to be honest about it too.
Mm-hmm.
And Dan seemed to think Alex might be pressing because it's late in his last year and so much is on the line this time of year, but his team isn't going anywhere with Alex looking the way he looked tonight.
Absolutely not.
Like that's an unusable, that's a largely like a decoy play.
And on the Creighton side, this was what I was hoping I'd see from them for a majority of the year. When I watched them in Villanova, they looked good, but not this good. I don't know what to make of them Saturday against St. John's. I feel like that's going to be a 10-point St. John's win just based on how they play and how they handle the second half, even if Creighton shoots the lights out. But I guess we'll see what happens with that. And on the UConn side, Dan's got to look out for two things. The bench has gone fucking catatonic at the worst possible time. He's saying that he needs Stewart offensively, but he's not giving you anything. Malachi's not giving you anything offensively. And you gotta look out for the exposition in the paint. The scouting report after the St. John's game, and credit Pitino for doing what he does best. Now everybody knows exactly how to attack UConn, and it's manifested at the worst possible time for him.
Yeah, and two really terrible free throw shooting teams meeting on Saturday.
Oh, Kevin's teams have always sucked at the free throw line, so that doesn't surprise me in the least.
But this is a game where, for all that he drives us not top balls, this should be a Terrace Reed game. I know it sounds crazy. A Terrace or Riva game. UConn has the size advantage. The question is going to be a problem is if they attack it early. Well, they attacked it early tonight. Can we get 30 solid minutes of attacking the paint? I don't need it to be all 40.
Get Brennan in foul trouble.
Because I think if UConn just wants to make the worst thing UConn can do, I know they want to shoot threes, and I'm okay with it, and I understand it. But nobody wants UConn shooting threes more than Villanova does. Like, Villanova has no ability to stop UConn on the inside. None. So if UConn, like tonight, the other thing is Creighton sped UConn up. 75 possession game. That's not where UConn operates. UConn's got to get back to operating the game on their terms offensively. That's the pace coming up is fine with more threes. I get it, but tonight was way out of control for what they want to run. I mean, all their high possession games, most of them were just games that they got away with it, but it wasn't pretty.
The Brigham Young game that almost fell apart.
Yep. BYU was 74. Creighton tonight was 75.
What was Florida?
Providence at home, which wasn't great, was 72. Providence on the road was 83, but they went to OT. The Florida game was 68. That's how UConn won the game. They played the game on their terms. UConn hasn't been able to impose pace on any of these games. And I think that's the downside of the offense getting better is that they're kind of coming off the chain a little bit here. And you're seeing what you're giving up defensively. Tonight overwhelmed what you were getting offensively. And that hasn't always been the case, but you know, they're 2-3 in their last, they're 3-2 in their last 5. They're 24-3 overall. So, but, as the offenses come into it, what they have to figure out is how can we keep getting more offense without being a complete disaster defensively?
Yeah. And
they just might need to dial it back.
Don't bitch about the crowd. Try to fix what seems to be broken. We see a close to a finished product with this team. It's going to be what it is now, mid-February. Just try to keep it from going off the rails. I think that's the best advice. Far be it from me to try to tell Dan how to coach, but as someone who's watched his teams for 15 years, I think that's the best advice I could give him.
I think that's fair. Hot balls, what say you? Perhaps nothing. Perhaps he just fell asleep.
Well, I mean, we could talk about how the two best teams didn't play until 13 games into the conference slate. So this is all happening in late February when it's the worst time for it to happen.
Oh, that's a Val problem.
Isn't everything?
Well,
yeah.
It's wild. They waited until later in the year, but they didn't just go all the way and have them play on the last day. Like they half-assed it. St. John's does have the tougher. Well, not really the tougher close. They're at Seton Hall on the last day, Seton Hall tonight. They might be
a desperate Shah fighting for his fucking life.
I think after tonight he's not fighting for it anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you can recover from tonight for them. It's going to have to be the Big East tournament or bust, but they're going to have like a top 4 seed in it, I think. So, kind of wild.
Yeah, well, I guess being a 2 in the East is probably a lot better than the 1 in the South and getting a de facto road game against Houston, so maybe blessing in disguise out of a loss tonight.
Sorry about that, guys. Just Spacious kicked. Just an internet hiccup. For a change, it was my internet, not Hurley Mania's. I was like trying to talk to you guys. You guys, you're still awake? I'm like, yeah, what are you talking about? And then Jaden started to speak, and then you texted me like, you're awake? And I was like, yeah, I was just trying to talk, and Jaden talked right through me, and then...
Yeah, the only thing better than the way tonight gone and it went and everything and this wonderful experience is now I got to edit 2 pieces of audio together in the morning on 4 hours of sleep. This is what a fantastic evening, Mr.
Yeah,
Hunt.
just a minor little piece. Just a little minor piece of editing for you tomorrow.
It is, because I don't know how long this is going to go. Did you want to just kind of close it up, or?
Yeah, let's just let Jaden finish real quick, and then we'll wrap it. I'm going to just invite him here, and we'll wrap all this nonsense up. Sorry about that, folks. The wonders of technology. I didn't do anything. I was like talking, and you guys just kept blowing by me. I was like, I guess nobody wants to talk to me anymore. Nobody likes good old hot balls anymore.
Who said that?
I don't know. Probably you guys. Yeah, my internet kicked. So sorry about that.
Don't worry about it. I didn't fuck up.
So, what was the question again? We were having a conversation about what Dan prioritizing the fans or whatever it was. Like, what was it again?
We left off on the blessing in disguise of two in the East versus 1 in the South, and then
yeah.
What the fuck else did I say? I don't even remember.
I'd much rather have a 1 seed than a 2 seed. But
no, I don't know.
But if it gets us back east, I mean, I guess I can help a little bit. But like, this team doesn't play well at Gamble. Like, like that's the other piece. Like, maybe going to play in Anchorage, Alaska, could be the best possible thing to happen to this crew. I mean, Calhoun used to talk about that all the time. He's like, I love going out west.
Speaking of that, because I know it was mentioned before I got on. Breeding will probably be at the Seton Hall game because I'm going to be up there, and Breeding's 3 for 3 at Gamble when I go up there. So I think they miss him at St. John's, and they get him at Seton Hall. They get him for Seton Hall.
Fine.
That probably makes sense.
Fine. You know what we should do before we finish? And I hate to drag this out.
I'm going to guess O'Connell, Driscoll, Gaffney for St. John's. St. John's the rematch.
God. Sure. Before we go, hot balls, I hate to drag this out. We really should note the amazing thing that happened at halftime in tonight's game that we're all pissed about.
Jeez, we didn't even talk about this.
We didn't even touch on it. By the way, this should happen when they retired Sue Bird's number against Notre Dame. So no more number retirements, UConn. Can we wait on that? UConn retires a legendary player's number and eats shit against a team that is very annoying. Tonight at halftime, they retired Emeka Okafor's number 50, and that was really full circle for yours truly, a student when he played there. An incredible player, obviously an incredible representative of the university. His speech was electric. It was very long. It went so long that Creighton and UConn were coming back onto the floor when he finished it. But yeah, just an amazing moment tonight. I hope UConn is able to post that on like YouTube or something. It's worth watching. His whole story, he talks about his son is there and explains about, coming to Connecticut and everything, and this little place on the map, he didn't even know where it was, and in a very funny way that he explained it. It was incredible, hot balls. It was by far the highlight of the night.
All I saw was the Calhoun quote, and I'll read it in his voice like I always do. Even I had a hard time yelling at him.
When I was yelling, yeah, that was good. Yeah, no, it was great, hot balls. It was it made it worth being there, even though the game sucked.
Yeah, so how was the speech? I mean, we didn't see anything on TV, nothing.
It was really, really good. UConn has to post it. It was really good. It was long. It was like 6 or 7 minutes. And he talked about how when he was going in the recruiting thing, he was looking at the map, and he didn't know where UConn was. And he was like looking really close at the map, like put it to his face. He's like, there's a little state there. Like, it's because he's used to big Texas, and he had his wife and his son and daughter there. His wife apparently is a UNC alum, but he made sure he told everybody, don't worry, we're raising him right. We got him in the right shade of blue and all that. So suck one, Jaden. But yeah, his son looked maybe like 8 or 9. His daughter, they were there. It was great. And, at the end of the speech, like Emeka was talking to his son, like it's like he was doing the speech just for his son, which was really cool to watch. But that was amazing. The appreciation for him, and couldn't get him a win, which sucks. But he never lost to Creighton, so there we'll put that on his resume.
Carolina got their version of Emeka 2 years later.
That's fair. That's fair. Worst player, but nice guy.
Same number too.
I know. We've played ping pong with him too. It was a great ceremony. It sucks that nobody could see it apparently, other than those of us in the building. But UConn's got to post it because it was an incredible speech, like really passionate, really well thought out. He's always been a brilliant speaker. You know, the guy's a genius. We all know these things, but and now nobody will ever wear 50 for the men or the women ever again. On a night where the women played with their food too, but they figured it out. But it was awesome, Hot Balls. He just recounted his whole career over a very, very long speech. But he earned the stage. So
yeah, one of the most memorable players probably in the history of the program, probably the greatest big man. Say he's probably number one.
I think so, just from the volume and how long he was here. The highlight reel they did of him, that took me back. The whole thing was, you forget, when it's been 20 years, just what a game-changing player he was. And that was at a time where UConn wasn't like getting great bigs. The knock on Jim Calhoun for many years was his teams were like a donut. They had nobody in the middle. And, they won the title with Jake Voskuhl. Nice player. Not exactly, a Mecca. And then a Mecca comes in and it's something we've never seen in terms of a dominant big man. The block at Villanova, the way he came back in the Big East tournament title game, the Final Four, so many great moments with him. And now nobody will wear that number again, and I think it's an honor richly deserved.
No more 50. It was kind of cool watching him talk about that too on the broadcast, just how gobsmacked he was that two of the same number will never be worn at UConn again.
Yeah, I'd listened to his pregame thing where they had Jim Calhoun call and tell him they were going to do it, and he just didn't believe it, basically. It's been awesome seeing Emeka be around the program too in his retirement. Somebody in the crowd tonight, by the way, with the whiteout, actually had his Bobcats jersey. I thought that was tremendous. The greatest Charlotte Bobcat.
Long live the Bobcats.
God, what a mess that was. The first of many UConn players to be sent to hell, known as the NBA in North Carolina. But just great, just great to have that moment tonight, and have him around it's invaluable. It reminds you how old you are. I feel even older now because it feels like just yesterday watching that team win the Big East title and win the national title and the parade and the first dual title with the women, and that was 22 years ago, Hop. So
22 years. Oh, it's almost a full quarter of a century.
That was half my life ago.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
It only gets worse from here.
Oh, I bet. I bet the hair doesn't exactly show up at this point. So that was, I'm glad we hit on that because it was very important and we should talk about it on a night where everyone's sad about the game. There was you got Henry raising $10,000 for the Husky Ticket Project and getting the absolute worst fucking reward ever. And you got a Mecca for his jersey retirement night. So
a lot going on.
And we'll be back at it Saturday night as the team has to pick itself up and figure out how to play pick and roll defense passably against the Villanova Wildcats.
Love you guys. I'll be in Philly for that.
Oh, beautiful, Jane. Thank you. Yeah, we'll be on, I don't know, 8, 9-ish. You know what time it'll be. It'll be late, but that'll be us. And I'll also encourage everyone, if you have nothing to do before that, UConn hockey versus BC in Hartford. It should be actually a great game. Both two of the top 3 teams in the league going at it. They're trying to pack the building. You can hear the Whalers horn, Hot Balls. It should be a great game. The hockey team's been red hot of late. But then we get UConn Villanova, obviously the main event, down in Philadelphia.
And we'll be there. We'll be there to recap it. It's over 5:30 tip, right? Yes, 5:30. So, all right. We'll see everybody on Saturday. Tonight sucked. Get out of your brains. On to Philadelphia. Hopefully we can scoop ourselves up a top 30 Ken Palm win. Get back on the right track.
Let's not get too crazy with Villanova yet.
They're 27. They're like 27.
Is there a TNT curse? I'm on to you, TNT. I'm on to you. It's not happening again Saturday, then we're going to have discussions.
We're only favored by 1.
God damn it.
All right, folks. Well, get over your sadness. Dust yourself back off. We'll see you on Saturday as UConn Huskies take on the Villanova Wildcats, try to get on back on the right track. But until then, folks, you all know the deal. We'll see you on Saturday, and till then, keep in touch with yourselves, everybody. Good night.